Miami's been in the national spotlight since week one. Their tunnel vision has them focused on the Big East title, led by their All-American quarterback. With big plays on both sides of the ball, the Hurricanes are pointing toward Pasadena. But their best-laid plans were nearly intercepted on the road last week. Knocked to their knees by turnovers, they needed one of their own and a prayer answered to avoid an upset. Syracuse had nothing to cheer about in the season's first 2 weeks, but since then their sack master leader and a make-no-mistake offense has them in a position for the unthinkable, the Big East Championship. Home to the Hurricanes. They think their team is number one, and they are in one of the polls, number 2 in the BCS poll, and that's all they need. Ed Reed and his teammates off the bus into the Orange Bowl. Kenny Dorsey, maybe he is a Heisman Trophy winner. We'll have to wait and see. The most important 3 weeks of the season yet ahead for the Canes, and today for the Big East Championship. It's number 2 Miami, home to the Orangemen of Syracuse, who have been a surprise since early in the season. How important is the game? This one's for the Big East title. 5-0 and 5-0. And who to thunk it after Syracuse opened the season with back-to-back losses. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. My partner's Bob Greasy. Robert, we started the season with Syracuse the first week and Miami the second week. We thought Miami'd be in this position. We never thought the Orangemen would be.
Talking with Paul Pasqualoni, the head coach, before the ball game, he said the same thing. He says, our guys never quit. We went to Tennessee the second week. We got better. They've won 8 straight games. They come in here a confident football team. They have won in this stadium 2 games ago when they were here. They're confident about today's game.
Of course, the bump in the road for Miami was last week. They almost slipped up on the road. They're over that now. They seem to be refocused. You know, I think if this is a car show, and I know you and Swanee like fast sports cars, this would be a convertible against a sport utility. But you know me, I like old cars, and I think we got a classic here today.
It's a classic. And quote my old partner, Keith Jackson, it's the big uglies. You may have the best defensive lineman in the country versus the best offensive lineman in the country. Bryant McKinney, the offensive tackle, has not allowed a sack in his college career. Feeney, on the other hand, has 33 sacks, and there's a look at his stats right there. Unbelievable matchup. We'll be following it all day.
And, of course, Kenny Dorsey, we've talked about him. He had his worst game ever. He still has only 1 loss as a starter, but last week was awful.
22-1 as a starter. Syracuse wanted to be in that position last week. They're not happy about him having an off day. They think he's going to come back well, and I think he will. Syracuse is going to have to play well and pick off some passes to have a chance to win here today.
Syracuse likes to control the football, play on a short field, and then give it to James Mungro. He's on his way to a 1,000-yard season for the Orange. On the other side, Clinton Portis is running well for the Hurricanes. Can he run them all the way to Pasadena as they continue their run for the Roses? We'll find out when we come back. They've won 18 straight, the longest in the country, and 14 in a row at home. Miami perfect at 8-0, and here comes a Syracuse team that's had 15 straight winning season. They've won 8 straight. That's the 4th longest streak in the country. Third man in our crew, as always, Lynn Swan. Swanee.
Well, thank you, Brad. You know, it's pretty hot down here. The sun's shining very brightly. And speaking of heat, well, Paul Pasqualoni, when he started the season, he said, it's the toughest, the hottest fire that makes the strongest steel. And there was fire all around his program. No one thought his program this year was going to be 8-2 at this time and playing for the Big East Championship. Some people said if they end up 7-5, he should get a contract extension. Well, he should get a contract extension because his players have bought into his idea of how this season should go. They bought into the idea that Paul put forward, which was they're going to have 12 one-game seasons. The schedule was so tough, he didn't want his team's ego and confidence to be broken and that fragile confidence to be destroyed if they lost one of the first 2 ball games. They did lose those ball games, but they came back. And now his team has the mettle to play for a championship, Brad.
Do they ever? And they believe. Their motto this year is, why not us? Miami last week, it was almost why us as they came close against Boston College, but had that miracle play at the end to save the day. And now Miami's won the toss and deferred. They'll kick away, and Maurice Jackson
And LaTroy Oliver back deep for Syracuse. Larry Coker off to a perfect start in his first year as a head coach, 8-0. That ties the best ever for a start at Miami, and you have to go back to 1926 to Howard Buck, who also started 8-0. We had rain showers about a half an hour ago. Now the sun is out. As Swanee said, it's around 80, and it'll get hotter. Here we go. Jackson has to watch this one sail. Severs booms it out of the end zone, and Syracuse will work offensively with R.J. Anderson at the control. Since he took over for Troy Nunes, things have clicked. His numbers, Bob, aren't great. He just seems to find a way to get it done.
You're right, 45% completion percentage, but he is not making mistakes. Only one interception in the last 333 snaps for Anderson. That is why this team is doing well.
The make no mistake offense, and that offense will work from the 20-yard line.
A lot of shifting for Syracuse all ball game.
Tight end moves into a slot on the left side, and they'll give it off to Mungro that way. And James Mungro's having a sensational season, goes for 8 yards on his first carry. Offensively, here's the big eaters up front: Alexander, Burton, Romeo, O'Connor, and Deloche. We mentioned James Mungro closing in on 1,000 yards behind Kyle Johnson, their 6-year senior fullback. Jackson and Campbell, the wide receivers, and Manley is the tight end. Pickup of 8 for Mungro on the first carry. Second down and 2. Again, the shifting.
Shifting is to try to disguise and confuse the defense.
Campbell and Jackson both come to the near side. They will keep it on the ground as anticipated. And Mungro's got a first down across the 30, near the 31, against the Miami defense that is #1 in the country, holding opponents to 9 points a game. McDougal and Joseph, Walters and Jamal Green, who's back as a starter now. The linebackers, Williams, Vilma, their leading tackler, and Campbell. And the secondary, maybe second to none in college football. Rump and Lewis, Reed and Buchanan.
I agree with you, partner. I think this is the best defensive secondary in the country.
Walters, who saved the day last week with his interception against Boston College, gets down in the dirt from the 31. It's 1st and 10, and here's the option. Mungro popped by Rump, one of the defensive captains, and he knocked him on his rump. What a hit.
One of the keys for this defense today is not pass defense for those secondary people, the defensive backs, but the run defense and stopping the option. McDougal, 95, forces the pitch. Rump, the cornerback, sees it and comes up and makes the tackle.
A picture-perfect form tackle for Rump, the senior out of Delray Beach, Florida. Second down and 13. And again, stuffed in the backfield. This time it's William Joseph. And the Canes fired up after giving up that initial first down.
But Joseph has been a load. He's right in here, going to come right up the center. Randy Shannon, that was a trap play. The guard or tackle didn't get over there quickly enough. Shannon was telling us that Joseph is playing as well as he's played all year.
He leads the club in tackles for loss, and he just got another one there. You saw Syracuse third down conversion efficiency, and they got third down in a mile here. 3rd and 18. Anderson's first throw upcoming, and tipped at the line. Looked like Vilma, the linebacker, got a paw on it. So the Orange got one first down, and then they went the wrong way.
Well, they went the wrong way because of the negative plays, and when you're in this style of offense and you're trying to go against that defense, you can't take negative plays.
Mike Schaefer's a good punter.
Trouble here.
And this guy is a great returner.
First, leads the nation, 2 punt returns for touchdowns.
Schaefer's set up inside his own 10. They're bringing the heat. The kick should be returnable. Nope, he gets out of the way, and then it hits his leg, and he covered it. Little indecision there whether he wanted to field it or get out of the way. It hit him in the knee, but he got on top of it. A 34-yard kick.
Well, the snap is not good. Leverett, a wide receiver, is the punt snapper. He's kicking into a pretty strong wind.
He's so lucky his knee didn't go down before.
Good point.
At the point of retrieving that bad snapper. It would have been dead right there.
Good point.
Instead, it's dead at the 42-yard line. And now Miami works on offense with great field position. This has been something they've been blessed with pretty much this year, and that's a credit to their defense. Here's a counter straight up the middle. Portis got about 1.5 yards. Kenny Dorsey. The game last week he'd like to forget with 4 interceptions. Still, his numbers are impressive.
Hey, he comes out and admits it. He says, I just didn't have a good game. He's only 20 years old. Sometimes we think that he's much older because he's been around a while and he makes it look so easy. Very intelligent. I like everything about this guy.
2nd down and 9, and we might see him throw right here. Beard in motion. Dorsey looking that way. Beard's got it. Nice move at the 50. First down into Syracuse territory at the 44-yard line. Miami offensively, you talk about some hosses up front. McKinney and Wilkins, Romberg, Bibla, and Gonzalez. Probably the best pair of tackles in college football. Portis in the backfield behind Najee Davenport. Their senior fullback Johnson and Beard are the starters. And Jeremy Shockey is a great tight end. One of the best around. There's Gonzalez. Everybody talks about McKinney. This kid is a first-rounder, too.
He's a 4-year starter.
Nice play fake by Dorsey. Looking down the sideline. Flags are down. Incomplete pass intended for Ethnic Sands. And LaTroy Oliver, I think, is going to be called for the penalty.
I like the call. Get the quarterback outside the pocket. Bump coverage, just run a deep out. Oliver is not that big, only 5'9", but he was with Sands step for step.
Interference against Syracuse. We talked about the Freeney-McKinney matchup. Here's our first look.
One of the problems that McKinney is going to have, he is 6'9". Freeney is only 6'1", and he is quick as lightning.
He runs about a 4.42. That's what they say his best time is, Freeney in the 40. And this guy's a man mountain. I called him Mount McKinney yesterday when we were talking to him. He's huge. He said, you know what, I lost a few pounds. I wanted to get down to 333 to play against Freeney.
They're both nice kids, though.
They are.
No trash talking between those two.
At the 30, first down. Here's the play action. Incomplete. Bryant McKinney talked with us about, is it size, is it strength, is it technique? What makes you so good?
I'm watching film on Freeney this week, and like I see the sacks that he had this week, like during the film, where like people had bad, like kind of poor technique on certain things, and he'll take advantage of it, and that's something I got to be aware of. So I got to make sure I'm focused every snap, especially on passing, and just take the proper footing and just stay playing it, and just I think I'll be all right.
2nd down and 10. Here's a stretch. Portis. Syracuse, nice job on defense, but he bounces off a couple tacklers and got about 4 yards against this Syracuse front. Freeney the best there, but Thomas, Ferrara, and Holtzman are a great supporting cast. The linebackers, and one of the best in the Big East is Clifton Smith inside. Scanlon and Burton flank him. In the secondary, there's some experience back there, too. Oliver, we talked about. Harris is their leading tackler. Walker and Ford round out the secondary.
That defense pretty good in the nation. They are ranked 8th in the nation in fewest points allowed and are 3rd in turnover margin.
Miami's got a 3rd down situation now, and they're 2nd in the Big East. Syracuse against the 3rd down, only 25%. Flags are down as Dorsey throws. This will be a first down and more. Down to about the 11-yard line is Beard, but again, penalty markers down. Thrown in a strange spot, kind of behind the linebackers, unless there was a holding maybe, trying to come out of there. Nope, it's illegal procedure against Miami.
Yeah, the umpire threw it. Normally, he sees the offensive line. Normally, an offensive lineman might move.
So that negates a first down. Larry Coker, 22 years an assistant coach before becoming a head coach, and he has handled it brilliantly. Of course, when you're 8-0, it helps.
For sure. And he has handled it brilliantly, and there was a lot of talk about who should they hire. Donna Shalala, the new president at the university, was big friends at Wisconsin. And the players said we want a local coach. We want our own coach. We want Larry Coker, and it's turned out very well.
There's the 3rd down conversions for Miami. Tops in the conference. Dorsey waits a long time and then goes long, and he and his receiver, a little miscommunication. I don't know if it was Beard or Sands.
Well, he just threw it away. He knew he couldn't scramble, and he knew safe was deep, so he just threw it deep.
Well, that's a fact, Bob. You
And
know,
that'll
with that
bring out-
offensive line that he has, that Dorsey has, he usually takes a lot of time. But as he told us earlier this week, he's cognizant of the pass rush, so he wants to get rid of the ball very quickly this game.
Severs will try a 48-yard field goal. And the kick is good. Career long for Severs. And Miami scores on its opening possession. This is the best he's ever hit it at home. Puts his team up by 3. Go back almost 2 decades, and they don't lose much when they score first. They're on top 3-0. Courtesy of Severs' field goal. Todd last week was the Big East Special Teams Player of the Week. He had 4 field goals, including his previous career best of 47 in that win over Boston College. He just capped that scoring drive.
We talk about the Hurricanes and how good a team they have and how highly ranked. We talk about them having maybe the best offensive line in the country and probably the best defensive backfield in the country.
Right.
And one of the best quarterbacks in the country. This kicker.
There's a pattern.
This kicker, yeah, this kicker and the punter, all the special teams are some of the top.
That's how you
Nice.
get to 8-0.
Yeah, nice situation for Larry Coker.
Severs has got a wind at his back, we should say, and he nailed another touchback kickoff. So again, Syracuse will have to work from the 20. Anderson, a good runner. They don't want to have to get in a passing game to try to win the football game.
Well, in talking with George DeLeon, the offensive coordinator, earlier in the week, you know, punting is not a bad thing.
Right.
On 3rd down, if it's 3rd and long, don't make a mistake. Just the worst we want to do is send our punter in there and let him punt the football.
Syracuse in an eye on 1st down. First man through was the fullback, Chris Davis, and he got about 3. Walters and Vilma there.
This offense for Syracuse is a veteran offense. They have 9 fifth-year seniors on that starting offense, and 4 of them are in the offensive line.
Tyree and Riddle are the wide receivers now on a 2nd down along 7. That's Donnelly, the tight end, who came trotting over into the slot. Here's a pitch. Reyes, and he goes down the sideline and out of bounds. They're going to call him out of bounds at where? The 30? And he is kicking himself right now. Had he stayed in bounds, he was off to the races.
But you're right, he just barely stepped out of bounds. It was Green who forced the pitch. Take a look right here. Watch as Green is going to come in and force the pitch. Right there, look at the quarterback, the blow he takes. But that's the part of the offense that Syracuse needs to work, is the option outside.
And you just saw his left foot just go out of bounds before the 1st down marker. Now they go to the full house backfield and they pick up the 1st down as Kyle Johnson takes it for about 4. So much like their opening drive, Syracuse has a 1st down.
Yeah, and that is key for them, not to score so much, but to keep the ball, keep some time of possession, and move down the field. Syracuse, more than any other team, plays field position. This offense probably cannot go 80 yards to score. 7 runs, 1 pass so far out of the 8 plays.
And if you try to go 80 yards against Miami, it just gives them that many more plays to try to steal it from you.
There you go.
1st down, just outside the 32. Straight up the gut. And across the 35, out to about the 36-yard line is Reyes again. Vilma made the tackle.
Syracuse offensively comes in ranked 96th in the nation in total offense and 98th passing. So they get it done on the ground, and they need help. They need help from special teams.
2nd down and 6. Chevy Trucks brings us our 1st and 10, and that line's out at the 42-yard line. Out to about the 40 goes Davis. Brings up 3rd down and 2. So they're alternating both the tailback and the fullback in Davis and Reyes coming in for Johnson and Mungrove.
It's a hot day down there. It's very humid down on the field. We had a little shower before the game, and it's, you know, that's probably the only rain we're going to get all day, but it is a little muggy.
Took us about 1 minute to dump the sport coats, we'll put it that way. 3rd down and 2. Again, they go with that wishbone look in a full house backfield, and I don't think so. Nowhere near the 1st down. Johnson took it for about a yard. Vilma was one of the first guys there, and he's off to a great start.
McDougal makes a great play. Watch McDougal here as he just goes down, throws his body down into the line, and just stacks up the 2 fullbacks that were in there blocking.
You're right. He took the lineman and the back. Everybody fell over the top of the big fella. So now it's punting time again. That means Schaefer, whose first one didn't travel far, but Buchanan mishandled it and had no chance for a return. Let's see if he does this time. The snap's clean. The kick's a beauty. Buchanan has to call fair catch. And he'll take it inside the 15. Beautiful punt all the way down to the 12.
Good kick.
High hang time, 47-yard kick. And so, as Bob said, punting's not a bad thing. Larry Coker's team in a bit of a hole when we come back. So many great games played here, both college and pro. And go back to the '92 Orange Bowl, Miami at home. Gino Toretta with a long pass, a touchdown, and a national championship win over Nebraska in a shutout. Erickson, one of 4 national titles this program has won. And this place has seen a lot of good football, the big version.
Well, I haven't been in this Orange Bowl Stadium in like 10 years, and it brought back a lot of memories just walking out on that field. And I know Swanee hasn't been here either since the Super Bowl. He made a couple catches in that one.
He made a couple big plays in a couple big games.
Yeah.
They just call Bob 12 when he comes in this place. You don't call him Greasy or Bob, just 12. Here's a big opener. Portis out across the 30. Boy, that's a way to get your team some room to work, busting out for 18 yards.
And what they did, they're running right at Freeney behind McKinney. Watch to the right side of the screen. 54 is Freeney. Good blocking on the linebackers. Good, you know, you can't block everybody, and Portis makes the free safety miss and gains about 10 more yards.
Portis, one of 5 guys in Hurricane history to hit the 2,000 career mark. There's his season numbers. And he picks up a 1st down out at the 32-yard line. Oops. Might be a free one here for Dorsey.
It is.
And incomplete, intended for Shockey, his tight end. Syracuse had a couple of guys jump in there.
And when a couple of guys jump, then you know it's the quarterback's cadence. And it's not a rhythmic cadence where he says hut 1, hut 2, hut 3. It's like hut, hut, hut. And the 2 guys jump off sides.
Yep, nobody moved.
And that's something that you do when you have, especially when you have a pass rusher that likes to jump off sides, to get a good jump and get a good pass rush up the field. Freeney was susceptible to that, and he was one of the guys that was offside.
So it brings up a 1st down and 5 for the Canes near the 6-minute mark of the 1st quarter, leading by a field goal. High backfield with Portis, the tailback. He gets the pitch. Quentin Portis. This time he goes behind Gonzalez and company. Gets out near the 40-yard line as we head to New York, Times Square Stadium, and John Saunders. John?
Right here on the Burger King update, Kentucky and Tennessee in a wild one. Jared Lorenzen hooks up 62 yards with Anthony Kelly for the touchdown. This after Tennessee had just taken their first lead of the game, a game they trailed at one point 21-0, all tied at 35 apiece.
How hot has Jared Lorenzen been in the last month?
Wow. He could play anywhere he wants to on the He can play offensive line.
He's down to about 260. He's put a little extra snap in his passes, I guess. Second down at 2, and Dorsey to throw. Dorsey's going long near sideline for Sands. He couldn't quite get there, but Oliver is going to be called for interference for the second time in the first quarter. LaTroy's having his early troubles. He had one on the other side, and now on the near side.
Well, take a look at it. When the ball is in the air, you can't be hand pushing and fighting for position with the defensive when the offensive receiver.
Plus, Bob, the defensive secondary for Syracuse is going to lock up on those receivers man for man. One of the big reasons is that from the University of Pittsburgh, Antonio Bryant, who was the top receiver, Willie Ford, number 15, shut him down when Syracuse played Pitt. So they have the confidence that corners can shut down these receivers. But unfortunately, that means LaTroy Oliver, number 3, is going to be locked on some pretty good talent also.
He's locked out on Sands again at the bottom of the screen. 3 penalties, all on the Syracuse defense. End around coming. Sands the right side, and he's wide open out there. Ethnic Sands all the way to the 22-yard line. Charles Burton brought him down, but Sands got 23.
All the flow is going to go this way, and Sands is going to come back around from the backside. Watch the orange jerseys. Look at all the orange guys. They're all over here, and Sands is going the other way. Nice blocking, green shirts out there. Sands was a quarterback in high school here in Miami. Did a lot of running.
Great play fake from Dorsey, too, before this handoff. And then wide open spaces. Now it's first down at the 22-yard line. Dorsey almost made him jump again. Portis on the play fake, and the ball to the end zone. Touchdown! Andre Johnson. Perfectly thrown pass. .22 yards and a touchdown. Seaver's in for the point after. (10-0) Miami. And here in the first quarter with 4:34 remaining.
He comes in and he just beats. This is a great throw. That's just good coverage. Ford can't be on him any better. He throws it to the back of the end zone. Johnson runs to it and makes the play. Let's go back and take a look. The thing that impresses me, it's a play action fake to this side over here. Here's the receiver. Watches, he's going to break to the middle and go back to the corner. No play action fake here. There's no safety in the middle to help. Dorsey sees the single coverage and says, all right, I'm throwing this deep and let my man catch it or nobody else.
8th time Johnson's been in the end zone in his career. This was the play that set it up. Ethnic Sands, that 23-yard end around. And on both those plays, Dorsey's play fakes were exceptional.
They had a lot of everything on that. They had some good running plays by Portis. They had a penalty down the left sideline that helped them. Anytime you have a defense that's helping you down the field, the offense says thank you very much.
You saw his 8th career touchdown, and the kick is returnable this time. Maurice Jackson isn't going to return it very far, though. Sean Taylor made the tackle on the special team.
Yeah, well, the only thing that Larry Coker has not been happy with is their kick coverage, and they were really good on that one.
This is the 3rd time Syracuse will have to start from its own 20 or worse. This one's worse at the 13-yard line. As I mentioned, Buck started 8-0 in 1926.
I don't even remember that name.
I don't either.
And I've lived here for 34 years.
First down for the Orange. Anderson on the option pitch to the near side of Mungro. A lot of room to work. Ran out of real estate and run out of bounds after a pickup of about 3. Chris Campbell, the outside linebacker, bumped him out. Mungro's been a good back for him. He's close to 1,000. He needed 63 yards coming in to become a 1,000-yard rusher.
He's had 11 games of 100 yards or more in his career. And he is the guy that had to play well this year. He had to get some production out of that tailback spot, and he's given it to him this year.
Second down at 7. It's not a full house at the Orange Bowl, but it's a noisy one right now for the defense. And that's why they're not giving up much. Maybe 3. Brings up third down and 4.
Well, Brad and Bob, you're talking about the running game and how Mungro is close to 1,000 yards. As we take a look at this graphic, we had the pleasure of covering Syracuse when they started the season, their first game. And these are some of the areas they had questions about. Whether or not Mungro would be the go-to guy, Dwight Freeney staying injury-free. And you see that they've got an X in the yes column. That means they've achieved everything they were looking for. They've answered those questions on the positive side coming into this ballgame.
No doubt about that. Here's another third down, though. Anderson saying, somebody pick up these linebackers, will you? And now Miami jumps. That should be a first down, but it's a free play for Anderson. He's going to get dumped himself. But Jerome McDougal came flying out of his stance into the neutral zone, and that should be a first down.
He had a free play, as you mentioned, because McDougal jumped off sides, but a quarterback is never 100% sure.
You got to play it out.
Yeah, if it was your guy, or the worst it could have been was your guy, your offensive line pulled him off.
Offsides on the defense. The penalty is 5 yards. It's enough for a first down.
And Bob and Brad, Maurice Jackson, as you watch the play, you see the Miami player going offside there. Maurice Jackson, number 1, got a little coaching on the sideline because there was a free play, but he stopped on the play. And the coach is just telling him, look, when that happens, you have to keep going down the field. The quarterback might be looking for you. You can make a play.
Yeah, it doesn't help if the quarterback says, I got to keep going, and nobody else does.
Yeah.
So Maurice will take his spot on the sideline.
Yeah, they're going to talk to him up close and personal.
Johnny Morant and Quasi Leverett are the wide receivers. We expect to see Mungro here, though, on a first down. Nope, play fake. Anderson in trouble, down he goes. William Joseph, the guy Bob talked about. And Randy Shannon said he's getting better and better every week.
Well, what they got a little blitz coming. There's a man standing up out here on the outside. The outside linebacker is going to come, and that forces him to step up. And then when he steps up, that gets the 2 big defensive linemen. Campbell is the linebacker that was coming from the outside.
Paul Pasqualone's team, 8 straight wins coming in, but they're finding it tough against the Miami defense. Second down and 18. Here's a draw play. Mungro cuts outside, and he's got some room. He's out near the first down. Looks to be about a yard shy, maybe 2, but he picked up 16. Good looking play.
That's Syracuse. If it's a definite passing situation, they ain't going to throw. Let's run the draw play, run a quarterback option or something. Picks up a nice yardage. Now you get back to something that's manageable, 3rd and 2 or less.
And it is third down at 2. Last time they got a freebie on third down as McDougal jumped into the neutral zone. Now we see some shotgun. They like to run their quarterback sometimes out of this situation. They've got 3 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right, and here comes Anderson, and there goes Anderson down for a loss.
Now let's see. You do this once a week. The Miami defensive coaches do this for a living. If you knew the quarterback was going to run, I think Randy Shannon and the rest of those guys did too.
You know what? We got to get a life, don't we? Will Fork was there, and it's punting time. Schaefer's last punt was a dandy, and Buchanan didn't have a chance. You don't want to give him a chance if you can help it. Again, Schaefer punting into the wind. He hit another high kick. Buchanan camps under this one with a chance to return from the 25. That might be an illegal block, and it's going to negate whatever Buchanan does. First guy down, hit somebody in the back, and basically the play was dead right there anyway.
Yeah. And Buchanan knew it because he saw it.
Marquise Fitzgerald, I think, is the guy that got the illegal block.
Yeah, he was right in front of him, and he needed to beat that guy, and he saw the flag go out, and he knew it was over at that point.
So again, Miami will be backed up inside its own 20, down near the 10 actually, but last time they went 87 yards.
Illegal block in the back against the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down, Miami.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Budweiser, with a crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. America's Dairy Farmers. The power of cheese. And Circuit City, we know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. We're with you from the Orange Bowl. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan, and our ABC crew in an all-important game for the undefeated Canes in Syracuse, trying to upset them. And so far, Miami's off to a 10-0 start.
Syracuse has had the ball 3 times, punted all 3 times. Miami has had it twice and has scored twice. A field goal on the first possession and a touchdown on their second possession.
Their second possession, 87 yards in just over 2 minutes.
This offense didn't score a touchdown last week at Boston College, so
first time that's happened in almost forever.
A long time.
Yep. Might be the final play right here if they get it off. Second down and 8. And they just do. Dorsey, final play of the first quarter. Zips it down to Beard, complete. Kevin Beard's got a first down out at the 32-yard line to pick up the 13. First quarter has come to a close. Miami with a better opening than Harry Potter. They lead 10-0 over Syracuse. Number 2, Miami dominated the first quarter. They lead 10-0. Syracuse forced to punt every time they've had it. As Bob said, the 2 times Miami had it, a 48-yard field goal from Severs and a touchdown pass from Dorsey to Andre Johnson. Kenny's 3 out of 5, 49 yards and a touchdown. Portis. Look at that second effort. Still on his feet. Clinton Portis out to the 45-yard line. Weaving his way for 14 yards.
All the talk and all the attention goes to the passing game. But Miami's running game, especially with Clinton Portis, has really been special. Up front, that's Wilkins, 72, pulling and trapping to the outside. Portis is stopped, but he's not tackled. He just keeps his momentum going. McKinney gets a piece of some other guys. And finally, somebody comes to bring him down.
43 yards on the ground for Portis. A first down at the 45. Dorsey, quick play fake, throwing it long. Threw it a little early, and his receiver, Geathers, didn't turn around in time. Incomplete. Our Pacific Life game summary to this point. For Syracuse, it's been nothing but groundwork. 15 rushes and just 1 pass. And Dorsey, the 1 touchdown. Miami with 8 first downs.
Miami going into a pretty good breeze coming from the open end of the Orange Bowl.
Here comes a blitz. Trying to run by it is Portis, and he does. Clinton Portis down the sideline. Harris runs him out of bounds, but not before he got to the 35-yard line.
Take a look from the end zone. One of the things I like about Kenny Dorsey is he's a bright, intelligent quarterback. Let's go ahead and see the play. See the linebackers coming. Davenport gets a nice block. Romberg's up front, doing some work up front. But Dorsey not only involved in the passing game, but he knows the running game and the blocking assignments and knew that that play would be successful against that blitz.
The freshman Frank Gore comes in at tailback to give Portis a breather. Play action. Dorsey zips a slant. What a hit, but what a catch. Kevin Beard just about had his beard taken off, but he holds on. Pick up a 16. He knows he's going to get blasted, Bob.
It's play action away. That holds the linebackers. Scanlon 57 Then he comes back and throws, but the free safety gets back. That's Walker, the strong safety. Take a look at the one-on-one classic battle over here, McKinney and Freeney.
Can't even see Freeney.
No. And he's no speed on that one.
Just inside the 20. So it's red zone time again for the Hurricanes, leading by 10. Portis back in there, gets the call. And Portis 4, almost 5 more. As we check in, Times Square Stadium in New York. John Saunders with an update. John.
From the Apple Cup, Washington State and Washington. Cody Pickett, 25 yards to Reggie Williams. This gets it down to the 1-yard line. They'd score a play later. That's part of a 99-yard drive after Washington State was stopped on 4th and goal. Tennessee, meanwhile, squeaks it out against Kentucky, 38-35. The final, they remain with just 1 loss.
Here, Miami with no losses and leading by 10. 8th play of this drive for the Canes has worked it down to the 16-yard line, and Syracuse jumps off again. Dorsey loads to the end zone. Sandsy overshot it. Freeney trying to get a head start over there against Mount McKinney, and he jumped again. Second time he's jumped in the neutral zone, unless he was drawn off.
Well, his advantage is his speed and his quickness.
Offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
Jeremy Shockey, the tight end, who may be the best in the country at that position, was open down the middle of the field and was waving his arms at his buddy Ken Dorsey. This guy is a competitor. He wants the ball on every throw right here.
Shockey is McKinney's roommate. We were teasing the offensive lineman yesterday. We said, Shockey, is he one of your guys, or you consider him a receiver? He said, he doesn't like to block that much. He can block, but he doesn't like to. Second down and a short 2. Portis not going to get it. Nice job defensively. Josh Thomas made the first contact, and Scanlon came in there. And Scanlon and Harris bring him down.
Scanlon was on a blitz. There were just too many guys for that offensive lineman to block. Interesting play right here. 3rd down, short. Throw it in the end zone. Do you run it for the first down?
They bring Beard and Johnson back in there on 3rd and a short 3. Again, this is a 72-yard march after the 87-yarder for a touchdown the last time they had it. And Larry knows offense. Offensive coordinator under Butch Davis. Third down and 3. Dorsey, the fade, threw it too far. Had Beard. Beard had a half step over there on Oliver. And Kenny had too much on that one.
He did. And I think the wind, it's a swirling wind. When it comes from that end of the end zone, the wind is coming right at him like this, and it's a swirling wind. And if you got to spin the ball, you can't float it. I think he thought that the ball was going to be knocked down by the wind a little bit.
Yep. He was playing that like a golf shot, and he ended up overthrowing. So it's Severs from 29 yards, and he badly hit this one to the left. So after a career long for Severs, the first time he kicked, he missed that one big time.
I tell you, kicking into the wind plays something on your mind. No question.
Still 10-0 Hurricanes. Capshaw catches the back of this snap from Fontograssi and just about didn't get it down for Severs.
Not only doesn't he get the laces, he doesn't see the you can't see the laces. That means he is kicking the laces. The other problem for the kicker, and these kickers are, sometimes they're a little. I want to put this down. Is Fontograssi, who is the long snapper's right hand, he broke in practice 2 days ago.
So he's trying to snap it left-handed, basically.
Yeah.
Probably a different trajectory for his holder.
It all impacts on these kickers.
Mungro spinning his way. Boy, he's a tough runner. Got out to the 26. He's not the biggest guy in the world. 5'9". They list him at 215. But he doesn't give up.
Well, if you're in an offense that's going to run the football, you got to be tough. And Mungro has done an outstanding job this year.
Kid that put up almost 8,500 yards in high school. And now in his senior season, as Swanee said earlier, the question mark is he's going to step to the plate and be the man. Well, he's been the man. He's on his way to 1,000. He picked up 6 there, and it's 2nd down and 4. Jackson and Campbell, the wideouts. Anderson's going to call a timeout. He never liked the look of either Miami or his offensive set, you could tell.
Well, maybe he didn't like where he was, because they've started 4 possessions, 3 on their own 20 and 1 on the 13-yard line. So
11:21 left first quarter. Time for our Aflac trivia question this week. Who was the last coach to win a national championship in his first season ever as a head coach? We'll have the answer for you a little bit later on. Some great shots today. Our aerial views courtesy of Goodyear. And overhead is Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, continuing a tradition of appearances at major events. It started back in 1925 with the Blimp Pilgrim. And to have Stars and Stripes with us today, pretty apropos. There's,
look at these.
Reese knows all this stuff.
You get some cruise ships there. It's the Port of Miami. They're constantly coming and going.
Bob gave us the tour, the grand tour of the place he's called home for so many years.
I stopped over at Joe's on South Beach and then took you around South Beach a little and then down into Coconut Grove.
That's when it all began. There was only about 3,000 people at Joe's and we walked right by everybody. It was like being with the mayor. 2nd down and 4. I just tag along behind you and smile. Great stuff. Anderson, after a timeout, still may have called an audible. Now he gives it off to Mungro, trying to break a tackle. He's a yard short of the first down. DJ Williams and Campbell, the linebackers, out there. And it brings up 3rd and about a yard.
Go back to that last play when Anderson called timeout. Most of the time, the reason a quarterback will call timeout at the line of scrimmage is that he's looking at the far end of the field and he sees that play clock, the 25-second clock, is down to 3 or 2 seconds and he doesn't have time to get the ball snapped.
It's a big 3rd down here for Syracuse to try to keep something going. Trailing by 10. Could be worse. Comes a blitz. The pitch. Mungro dropped it. Vilma's got it. No, it's not Vilma, it's Buchanan.
Buchanan with the quick hands on the option knocked the ball down. He saw the option coming and swatted at it and got it.
Buchanan with a fumble recovery.
He's run 2 punts back for touch. What? Top of your screen. Here's a pitch. Right there, he got a piece of it. Looked like he got a piece of it, didn't it? Let's see here.
Well, Bobby, what's really unusual about this play is most people have defensive people are assigned to individuals on the option. This defense seemed to be attacking it. He came in aggressively as if he blitzed the option.
Yeah, well, he didn't get it, but he certainly messed up Mungro's perception of it, and Mungro just dropped it.
Gore now with a run. So about the 15, maybe got 2.
Well, here are 2 teams that are in the top 3 in the nation in turnover margin. Miami leads it, coming in with a plus 15, more turnovers, more takeaways and giveaways. And they get the first big one.
There's the story in the country. As Bob said, 2 of the top 4 right here. It's so important, that turnover margin. And you saw the proficiency with which Miami turns turnovers into points. Now they got 3 wideouts. Out to the top of the screen for Dorsey. Straight drop. Flags down. Dorsey trying to go over the middle to Shockey. And again, a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage. Penn Wagers is our referee.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
That is their, what, 4th offside? 3rd offside and 2 interference calls. 5th penalty against Syracuse defense.
You know, when I see this Miami offense and the fact that they only have had 1 sack all year, and Kenny Dorsey reminds me a little bit of Dan Marino and the Dolphins, in that Marino would not get sacked. I mean, they had a good offensive line. Miami Hurricanes got a good offensive line, but Dorsey gets rid of the ball a lot like Marino would.
2 tight ends here. They give it to Gore. The freshman is down. 1st and goal. Little change of pace. Portis banging away, and then Gore comes in with fresh legs. And the Canes are threatening again.
Well, you've got Clinton Portis, and then you've got Frank Gore. And Frank Gore is a true freshman that is pushing Portis, and the Miami coaches can't say enough good things about this young kid. He's going to be special.
First and goal at the 3-yard line.
Of course, they say a lot of nice things about Portis, too.
That's true. They've tried to go to Shockey a couple of times today, both times incomplete.
You got single coverage way up here at the top.
And penalty markers, they run out of time. Dorsey looked upset with himself there.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense.
Well, sometimes you, as a quarterback, you just forget about the clock. You know, you do. You say, all right, we got the play in a normal time. We're up the line of scrimmage. I'm gonna see, because I gotta throw a touchdown pass to my wide receiver. I'm gonna make sure, oh, they're in the good defense for it. And then you forgot to look at the clock.
And all of a sudden you're up to 26.
Yeah, and the first thing you turn around and say, you tell the referee, you're starting that clock too quick.
Well, Bob, it took him a full 10 seconds just to get the play from the sideline.
Well, that's usually the problem.
First and goal at the 8. Dorsey, incomplete. Intended for Andre Johnson. Willie Ford was covering.
The secondary for Syracuse doing a nice job of taking away some of the passes. Oh, this is a good shot. He's going to throw it to the top right of the screen. And he just threw it away.
That's a cool look from Stars and Stripes.
Yeah.
And now second down and goal at the 8-yard line. 8:46 remaining in the half. Miami 10 and Syracuse nothing. 3 wide receivers. Dorsey pumps.
Oh, wide open.
Shockey touchdown.
Wide open.
I was waiting for it. 8-yard score. Spread everybody out and then sneak 88 in the middle.
That was like stealing. He's going to go down, break to the outside, like he's going to run an out route, and then right to the middle. That's like stealing there.
Second touchdown pass for Dorsey. And Gore got him close. Shockey got him the touchdown, and Sievers the extra point. Kenny Dorsey's second of the day. His 17th touchdown pass of the year. Canes by 17. Our Chrysler Drive summary, and they didn't have to drive very far. 17 yards, a little under 2 minutes. Shockey the touchdown. And for Shockey, his 5th touchdown catch of the year, his 8th of his career.
He is a good target. He runs good routes, and he's aggressive. He wants the football.
You're talking about all the individual awards that are given out at the end of the year. He's obviously one of the top candidates for the Mackey Award as the best tight end in the country. The kick goes to LaTroy Oliver from the 6. Broke the tackle, and Oliver, who's been picked on as a defensive back, gets out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. We asked you earlier our Aflac trivia question. Who was the last coach to win a national championship in his first season ever as a head coach? Benny Oosterbout from Michigan in 48. And that, of course, is what Larry Coker is attempting to do with this Miami team. Still a long ways to go. Washington next week on a Saturday night that we'll have for you on ABC. Then a trip to Blacksburg on December 1st. If all goes well and they keep on winning, then they're heading west.
They control their own destiny, and that's right where they want to be.
Inside the 33, Syracuse. Play action. Anderson's in trouble. It's Buchanan that's got him. Second big play by Philip Buchanan.
Whenever you're on the hash mark closest to the sideline and that corner is up in bump, you better keep an eye on Buchanan. Because he's got the speed. He was up in bump on the wide receiver, acting like he was going to cover him. And then when the ball was snapped, he blitzed from that position because it was on the hash mark. He's close enough to get there.
Second sack for Miami. Both of them have come on Syracuse first down situations. And now it's second down and 27. Diamond Ferry in the backfield now as Anderson has to work from the gun.
This is not a good down and distance.
And they might get an official timeout here because a balloon or something flew on the field. Although I think they may have called the timeout before that showed up.
Brad, there were only 3 seconds left on the 25-second clock, and Anderson came up to the line of scrimmage, looked down the field, saw it, called the timeout.
So we're going to take it as well. Anderson talking things over on the sideline. 7:40 left first half. Miami, reflections of the way life used to be in the championship years. That's what they're thinking. They want to add a 5th national title to the record books. Jerome McDougal getting down in his stance and ready to pin his ears back to 2nd down and 27. Syracuse going to play it safe with the draw. And it works for him to a degree. Ferry got out across the 20 to about the 22. McDougal's one of the guys that made the stop. Pickup of about 7.
West Virginia offensive cannot really go the distance and go the length of the field. Last week in their game against West Virginia, they started on West Virginia's 10-yard line, their 11-yard line, their 18, and the 41, all from turnovers or a block punt. So they had 4 nice possessions. They just gave Miami one, and Miami scored on it.
3rd and 20. Anderson with some time completes this one, but it's a short gain to Maurice Jackson, and it will bring up 4th down and long again. A punt upcoming. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. Mutual of Omaha, providing insurance and financial services. And Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. That was the first completion of the day for Syracuse through the air, but it didn't get him a 1st down. And on 4th, Schaefer to kick. Hit this one a mile in the air. What a beauty. But Buchanan's got a shot at it from the 15. Philip Buchanan weaving his way. Here he goes. Buchanan at midfield. Punter to beat down the sideline, and he's bumped out of bounds, but it's a great return.
He's the same guy that just had a sack on the quarterback and forced the fumble on the pitch that got Miami the great field position for their last touchdown.
Doing a little bit of everything.
He has returned 2 punts for touchdowns already this year, and he is exciting.
This isn't going to hurt his average, that's for sure. He came in averaging 16.3 per return, with his longest being one of those touchdowns of 56 yards.
Miami came into this game with 21 non-offensive touchdowns in the last 20 games.
And this one's good for 59, Bob.
That comes from special team returns and from your defense.
Will they go for the quick strike? Nope, they're going to keep it on the ground. Gore down to the 23. Clifton Smith, the linebacker, made the hit.
You know, not only is it the offense of the Hurricanes, but their special teams are so good,
yep,
both kicking and returning. And then their defense is so aggressive at taking the ball away, picking it up and running it in for a touchdown.
There's the non-offensive touchdowns, something that Bob was talking about. Buchanan, one of those guys up for another award, the Mosi Tutupu Awards for the best special teams player. And that last run back for him was his season long, 59 yards to set up shop for the offense. 2nd down and 7 now at the 23. Freeney got a great jump off the ball. Flags down as Dorsey goes complete inside the 10. Andre Johnson weaving to the end zone. Got there. Touchdown.
And a flag.
Again, a flag at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if it's coming back. Illegal procedure, and it will come back.
The Hurricanes are the most penalized team in the Big East.
Enough men on the line of scrimmage against the offensive team. 5-yard penalty. Previous spot. Replay. 2nd down.
We saw that kill Clemson a few weeks ago in a punting situation. We've seen a lot of not enough guys on the line this year.
Well, here's Johnson over here, and it may be him. It probably is that he's not lined up on the line of scrimmage. He's going to go down and run a route, but it's his fault to begin with that he's not up on the line of scrimmage. I believe it's him. He's the split in, and normally it's the split receiver.
Each team with 5 penalties. So now it's 2nd down and 12 instead of a touchdown. Draw play to Gore. And Gore's not going anywhere. Clifton Smith's got him wrapped up. Smith's a good linebacker. The middle linebacker, number 9, a junior out of Freeport, New York.
He is one of the leaders of this ball club. He and Harris, the free safety.
Smith had a great game against Miami last year. Career high 18 tackles, and he blocked an extra point. 250-pounder. So now it's 3rd down and long. 3rd and 13. 3 wideouts all come to the near side.
Watch the tight end from the other side come across.
Syracuse thinking about a blitz on the corner, and Dorsey's going to call timeout.
See, he saw the top up there. He knew that he couldn't block something, and the only way to get out of it was to take a timeout.
He'll come and talk about it on the sideline. 4:35 left first half. The rains have returned.
It's a shower.
There
you go.
Don't forget Thanksgiving feast for you, presented by Siemens, coming up on Friday. Number 6 Texas taking on Texas A&M, and then at 3:30 Eastern, top-ranked Nebraska against Colorado. Remember a couple years ago out there on Thanksgiving weekend, an overtime game, great game.
Oh boy, one of the greatest.
So watch those two on Friday. That'll give you.
Hey, Texas is not out of this.
That's right. They could go 10-1.
Texas is not out of it if Colorado beats
Nebraska.
If Colorado beats Nebraska, Texas is in the championship game. There's a lot of football to be left to play. Yeah,
no doubt about it.
You can make a case for a lot of those the top 4 or 5 teams in that group.
Sands goes in motion on a 3rd down and 13. Blitz coming on Dorsey.
Look out!
He waited too long and down he goes. Will Hunter came flying in. The ball was loose momentarily, but they got back on top of it. Romberg, the center, maybe the guy that's on the ball.
I'm not sure, Brad and Bob, but I think I see a grass stain on Dorsey's shorts.
Well, it'd be the 2nd time he's had any grass stains on anything all year.
Only the 2nd sack of the year
in 262 pass attempts.
And a defensive back, Hunter, gets him. Now the offensive lineman will say that wasn't their man. That was the back's man. He's supposed to pick him up.
And that took him out of field goal range too. So Capshaw's got to punt it. One high, heading for the corner, and it bounces at the 1, and it goes in the end zone. They had their hands on it. Too many guys trying to get a piece of the action, and it's a touchback. They had a convoy down there and came close. Jarrell Weaver, I think, is the first guy that gets down there. Number 58, got it. Oh, guys, leave me alone. Into the end zone. Too many friends there on the spot.
Yeah, too many.
So Syracuse will work from the 20. Our Pacific Life game summary. Mungro dropped that pitch. Philip Buchanan with a fumble recovery. One of his 3 big plays already in this first half, including that sack that knocked Anderson back. And then he took a punt return, 59 yards. But they don't get points out of that.
Nope, they didn't.
Syracuse takes over at the 20. Is the option pitch to Mungro. And Vilma there to meet him.
Oh, is that good defense?
Yeah, it is. Everybody covered.
Everybody was where they were supposed to be. Everybody was where supposed to be. Take a look from the defensive side. Green, 55, takes the quarterback. Johnson takes the block of the fullback. Lewis is outside, taking the contain. And then back inside, that's Vilma. He comes over and makes the play.
Syracuse, not a lot of yards in their 23 plays. 2nd down and 7. Play action. Anderson going to roll to throw this time. And this time he's got his tight end, but he's short of the first down. Donnelly stretching out Picked up about 5, still 2 yards short of the first down.
They have less than 50 yards in the first half, Syracuse offensively. I like this. Get him outside the pocket, fake the run. You can see better if you're not a great throwing quarterback from the pocket. Get outside. It's a good play.
Bob and Brad, those last 2 plays are also a great indication, an example of the team speed that this defense has at Miami. On each one of those plays, the option, the defense was heads up on the man they were supposed to go after. And on that last play, there was not a single player from Syracuse that seemingly was running away from a defender. There was always a defender right next to him, stride for stride.
Syracuse going to take another timeout with an important 3rd down here.
Well, they've had 3rd. This is the 5th time they've had 3rd and 2 or less, which is what you want.
Right.
But they've only converted 1 of the 4.
Syracuse in the BCS standings at 15, but as you look at the top 5, it's Nebraska, then this Miami team, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Florida. The second 5 rounding out the top 10. Looks like this. Texas, as Bob said. Tennessee survives the scare from Kentucky today. Washington State playing in the Apple Cup. Stanford and Illinois. And Illinois, I did not see a final, but they were ahead by about 12 over Ohio State.
You can make a case for Oregon. You can make a case for Florida. You make a case for Oklahoma. In fact, Oklahoma controls their own destiny. If they get to the championship game of the Big 12 and
win it,
and beat Nebraska or anybody that's there, they're in the championship game.
That's right. And Miami knows that same thing. And Illinois did win. The guys in the truck let me know. Gonzalez, part of that great offensive line. You talk about a fun guy to be around.
Yeah.
He is something else.
Yeah.
They call themselves the United Nations. There's a lot of different nationalities and guys from everywhere on that group.
Yeah.
3rd down, a long 2 for Syracuse. Anderson going to try to throw for it. Maybe. Nope. Down he goes. Jamal Green running down from behind. Green, who lost his starting job due to injury earlier this year, gets it back for the same reason and comes up with a big sack there.
Yeah, and there's just nobody to throw the ball to. Miami defensively 3rd in the nation against the pass. Syracuse coming in was very poor throwing the ball, especially on 3rd down when you had to throw it.
Here's the man of the hour, or the first hour and a half anyway of this game. Made 3 big plays. And while Schaefer's been punting well, he would just as soon keep it out of his hands if he could. And he hit this one a mile in the air. This should draw a fair catch, and does, at the 25-yard line. Nice kick. Reminder, Monday night, the New York Football Giants travel to Minneapolis for a rematch of last season's NFC Championship game. The Vikings are waiting there, and they need a win badly. Michael Strahan and the Giants defense will be looking at Dante Culpepper. Monday Night Football, 9 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah. What a finish they had last week, huh?
Yeah, and what a finish it was last year in that NFC Championship game. Nobody thought the Giants could even score that many points, much less you thought Minnesota's explosive offense would have been the story. It wasn't. It was the other way around.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The Vikes will be laying for them at the Metrodome. 1st down. And this is Portis. What a move he put on the corner. And he's all the way out to the 39-yard line. That was shifty.
That was good.
Watch his move when he gets to the corner.
Wilkins, 72, is going to pull and come this way. Davenport gets the block right there. There's nothing inside. He just puts a move on Walker and says goodbye.
79 yards on 10 carries for Portis. And a 1st down at the 39. Dorsey, quick fire. Out complete to Johnson. Might have been no call. I thought he was face masked. He's got a 1st down. Picked up 12. So a little bit of hurry up here with 1:03. They'll stop the clock momentarily to move the sticks.
That's a smart play by Dorsey, because Willie Ford, the corner on that side, was blitzing, and he saw him leave the receiver, got the ball out there to him. Normally you throw in the area of the blitz. If the blitz comes from the right, you throw that way. Now
they're in Syracuse territory by about the length of the football. 3 wideouts and a dangerous tight end, and that's the guy that gets the call. Shockey with a catch. Another 1st down to the 32-yard line, make it the 34-yard line.
Good pass protection. Shockey, number 88, coming right at us. That's just like stealing there.
Let's watch McKinney working on Freeney again.
That's holding.
Well, that's holding.
That's holding.
Yeah, it is.
You got one there, Dwight. He's talking to him now. He said, don't hold me. He said, you can't hold me.
So it's first down at the 34. 47 seconds left in the half. Miami with 2 timeouts left. Dorsey from the gun. Looks left now, wants to come back the other way, and there's nobody there. He's going to throw it away. And he gets dumped after he let go of the football. Coming up on the Capital One halftime show, John and Terry from Times Square Stadium in New York. They'll have all the scores and highlights from today's action, both ongoing games and the ones that are already finished. Holtzman, the guy that let Dorsey have it after he threw that ball away. Can he still clear the tears from his eyes?
Here's the matchup. This time, Freeney's going to try to bull rush him. Going to try to run right at him and knock him over.
Oh, that ain't going to work.
That didn't work.
Nope. Let's try something else next time.
He's been using speed going around him and trying to go inside of him, and he held him. That time he tried to run over him.
Draw play to Portis on 2nd and 10. And he got collared. Still got a couple yards. Mason made the tackle. Clock is running at 30 seconds. Now they use one of their timeouts. So they're at the 32-yard line, or just inside the 32. Kenny Dorsey saying, how about a face mask on his running back? Kind of looked that way from up here too, but there was no call. We talked about Miami's work's not done today, regardless of what goes on, because our Thanksgiving feast on ABC Sports, presented by Siemens, coming up next Saturday. We'll be right back here at the Orange Bowl, and it'll be Washington coming in, Notre Dame and Stanford for a lot of the country. Check the local listings for the game in your area. Larry Coker, been around a long time. Started as an assistant coach many years under Jimmy Johnson at Oklahoma State. Was offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State for 7 years. And on to Oklahoma as offensive coordinator. Even coached defensive backs at Ohio State in the mid-90s, and then under Butch Davis here, the offensive coordinator until the head coaching call came this season. We asked him about how much if it's changed him any. And he said, you know, the people where I live in my house for the last 6 years, I walk outside, they didn't know who I was. Now they're yelling, hey, coach, you got to throw on 3rd down and 4. It changes a little bit.
It sure does.
3rd down and 7. And Syracuse jumped again, it appeared. Dorsey's going to play it out. Got a man wide open. It's Johnson. Andre Johnson inside the 10 with a cutback. Johnson's going to get there. Touchdown. What a move. And I think this one's going to hold up. 31-yard touchdown.
Andre Johnson. He sat behind Santana Moss and Reggie Wayne and waited his turn.
Offside on the defense. The penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Remember when Bob said you play it out as a quarterback because you're never sure? What a play here.
He's the number 9 in the center, and number 5, excuse me. Well, I got the wrong guy. He came in from the top. I had the right number. Johnson. Now the running ability comes into play. Good catch. He was the one that scored before on the flag. Didn't allow it. This time he gets it.
Seaver's extra point is good. Johnson's got 2 touchdown catches in the first half. Dorsey has thrown 3, including this one.
When you've got a tight end like Shockey that you know everyone's going to jump on, you start the season off, you hope that the receiver, right there, number 5, is going to step up and take some pressure off. He comes into this game leading his team in touchdowns, and he is just a very talented young man. And Bob and Brad, he is just now starting to come into his own as a wide receiver.
There's no doubt about that, Lynn.
Yeah, you got that right.
And he comes from the same high school as a former All-American here in Eddie Brown, and that was an Eddie Brown type move he put on to get that touchdown.
4 of Miami's top 5 wide receivers are from South Florida. And this one is, we asked him the other day, Swanee and I are out of practice talking to the receivers. We asked him, the group, who's the best? And everybody kind of chuckled and laughed, and they all said, Andre.
At least they weren't kidding. What a drive that was, huh? They took over with 1:27 left at their own 25-yard line, and there's still 20 seconds left in the half. And Paul Pasqualoni now finds his team down 24-0. They knew a 9th straight win was certainly not going to be easy, but Miami's defense has completely shut out the Syracuse offense, and the Miami offense has looked like the Miami offense we expected.
you didn't expect him to have an off week 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
Dorsey last week did not throw a touchdown for the first time in the 23 games he started as a quarterback for Miami.
That kick was a good one because one of the up guys actually touched it. It squirted through, and Oliver had to just hit the deck. So no return. Dorsey, I'd say he has worked himself back to respectability, huh? 3 touchdown passes first half. Capital One halftime show is 18 seconds away with John and Terry. 7 possessions for Syracuse now. 6 of them at their own 20-yard line or worse.
The only loss that Dorsey suffered in his career was last year at the beginning of the season at Washington. The University of Washington comes calling next week for Miami.
Just another one of the interesting things that's going to make that game fun. And now just going to run the clock out here as Kyle Johnson, the fullback, takes it. A dominating first half by that young man in a lot of areas as a punt returner and a defensive back. And the offense puts up 3 touchdown passes and a field goal. Halftime. It's Miami 24, Syracuse nothing.
On June 6, 1944, American and Allied forces were called into action. Jeep was there when they answered that call and joined together in a noble mission. Now, more than ever, we count on these values of courage, trust, and steadfast resolve in our continuing quest for freedom.
For a great car at a great rate, call or click Thrifty.
Boomer, you still think the '85 Bears defense was better than the Ravens?
Yep.
NFL Countdown, Sundays 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Those must have been some cookies you left Santa.
I didn't leave them cookies. I left them cheese.
Ah, the power of cheese.
For a great car at a great rate, call or click Thrifty.
The Capital One Halftime Show, presented by
American Airlines Arena. Out in the distance. In the Orange Bowl, it's 24-0. Second-ranked Miami leading Syracuse on their way, it appears, to the Big East Championship. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy back with you. Bob, after last week we said, you know, can Miami play that badly 2 weeks in a row? We got our answer. They're almost perfect here in the first half.
I think they're back to playing the way they were playing earlier in the year, and they're playing at home and they feel comfortable here. And I think they want to show America and the rest of the country, college football anyway, that was an aberration last week and we're back playing.
And that they can play this well against a quality opponent. And Syracuse is. They come in with an 8-game winning streak, but they haven't been able to do anything on either side of the ball.
Yeah, here's your stats. I mean, this is a
little lopsided.
50 yards total offense for Syracuse. Everybody talks about the Miami offense. The Miami defense has been outstanding.
That starting field position has been something that has hampered Syracuse as well, but their passing game without the threat to be able to throw, and they have not threatened much on trying to throw. That shuts James Mungro and company down. Frank Gore and Andre Johnson are the guys that'll drop back deep as the wind is picked up and the showers, Bob calls them. It isn't raining, a shower. A shower just blew through. And here's a kick with the wind. Johnson 4 yards deep. Had a great day so far. Might as well try it. And got up to about the 23-yard line. our Morgan Stanley well-connected storyline in this one. Obviously, 12 yards passing is not going to get you much, and that shuts down the running game, as I was talking about. 15 first downs for Miami to only 3 for Syracuse. And Dorsey, 131 efficient yards, 3 touchdowns.
Look at that. 20 of the 31 plays have been run in Syracuse territory.
You get in short field, you're having some fun then.
That's just exactly what Syracuse had been doing offensively.
Yep.
Coming into this ball game, but not today.
Just inside the 24. The Canes start 1st and 10. Portis, who had a nice first half. Clinton goes out to the 28-yard line. We go to Swanee.
Oh, Brad and Bob, I've got my on-again, off-again shower coat since it's not really raining. Paul Pasqualoni, when he walked up the field, said, what we're going to have to do is mix in some zones with our defensive coverage. Our defensive backs cannot stay with the Miami receivers man for man. Their speed is just too much for them, so we're going to mix in some zones with that coverage. He also said, on 3rd and short, our offense has to make some things happen. If we don't, we're going to have to open up our offense, and that's not what we normally do.
Yeah, you almost wonder if they have to open it up that much if they go to Troy Nunes at quarterback. He's a better thrower. That's a long way down the line, maybe. And again, movement. This time they blow this one dead. We've had a lot of people in the neutral zone today, and Syracuse looks like the guilty party again on this one. Looked like Holtzman is the guy that jumped offside, and that's just one of the things, as Bob talked about earlier, that Dorsey is doing so well in this game. His change of cadence, his hard counts. Orangemen are having trouble.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
This one's going to go against Miami, however.
Yeah, it almost looks as if Dorsey forgot the snap count because he was backing out. Maybe the center forgot it. One of the two, because Dorsey was leaning back and the ball wasn't snapped.
One of those two guys has to know the snap count.
Now watch Dorsey. He's going to start leaning back and the ball won't be snapped. Whoa!
I think you got it there.
Yeah. Yeah.
2nd down and 10. Here's the stretch, the handoff to Portis. Got one good block, but an even better play by Josh Thomas, the sophomore defensive end. Stays the ground and makes the tackle.
Well, what Syracuse needs to do is come out here and, at least for the 3rd quarter, play as if, you know, they're in this ball game. The MO for this team, the reason they've won 8 games is because their defense and their special teams have created turnovers and good field position for their offense, where their offense didn't have to go the length of the field.
Haven't been able to force a turnover here at the Orange Bowl so far today. 3rd down and 10. 3 wideouts for Dorsey. He's got 3 touchdown passes already today. Getting some heat, but he found his safety valve and Sands over the middle. And Ethnic, boy, he's close to a 1st down. I didn't think he was going to get that close. They might have to even look at this one, or is he a yard short? See where they spot it.
I don't know.
Happened right in front of the Miami bench.
It's a little get some protection. Now he got some good coverage. One of his offensive linemen was right back in his face.
He's a yard short of the marker. You see he stepped on the marker after he went out of bounds. So Freddie Capshaw's got a punt.
Syracuse has got the win with them, so if they're going to do anything, this is the time to do it.
They put the rush on Capshaw, didn't get there. Kick off the side of his foot, goes out of bounds. There are no flags.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good field position. They brought the heat on Capshaw, only a 27-yard kick. Our Pacific Life game summary. 2 guys that we wanted to watch today, 2 of the best at their respective positions, McKinney and Freeney. And they've been battling every play all day long.
There's a hold.
There's the hold.
Yeah.
That wasn't called, but it was a hold. And this one's just a bear hug. Deepest penetration for Syracuse all day. And it's on 1st down, and they do throw to Manley, the tight end. About to the 46.
That's just a nice play by Lewis. 1st down passing Syracuse. This is unusual, and especially throwing it to the tight end Manley.
That's only his 4th catch of the year.
Yeah. Little fake to the left, roll back to the right side, and Lewis is not out of position.
2nd down at 6 at the 46. They're at least getting close to midfield. You got to walk before you run, I guess. And they do run it right here across midfield to the 49. Mungro got 5. And he's about a yard short of the first down.
We've talked a lot about the Miami offensive line. That line for Syracuse, as I mentioned earlier, is an experienced line, especially the left tackle, P.J. Alexander. Here's a guy that is probably going to play at the next level as a center. But because of the offensive problems lined up at left tackle this year.
First down, Syracuse. Haven't said that much today. In fact, that's the first one since there was 2 minutes left in the first quarter. So as Bob said, they have to play well early.
Yeah, they got the
in
win.
The third.
Yeah, they just came out for the third quarter. They've got the wind at their back. They've made some adjustments at halftime. But Miami is probably one of the best teams coming out and playing in the third quarter. As you see the wind whipping the flag coming in the open end of the stadium.
At the 48-yard line. So finally, they're on the Canes end of the field. Play action, Anderson in trouble. Got away from McDougal, threw on the run and got his man. Maurice Jackson out of bounds. Only a 6-yard pickup, but that's better than it's been going for him with the air game.
Well, McDougal does his job initially. Here's McDougal over here. He's going to come in and look for any bootleg by the quarterback. Now look at this. He's got him. Is he going to get away? Anderson does a nice job. McDougal's probably the quickest defensive lineman. Makes a big play out of a one that should have been -6 or 7.
Good combination of good footwork and strength by the quarterback. Jackson in motion. They want to pitch it to him on an end around. Got nothing. Looked great on the blackboard. Didn't do much against Miami's defense. Reed ran him out of bounds. Edward Reed, there's a guy that is the leader really of the whole team. Senior.
Captain.
And there's some Reeds here, by the way.
Notice the 20s?
Yeah, that's the Reed section.
Now that's a law firm. Reed.
Let's see if Anderson can read the defense. It's 3rd down and 6. RJ in trouble. Down he goes. William Joseph got him. 3rd sack of the day. 2nd for Joseph. And Anderson's not getting up yet. Finally does slowly. So they got in Miami's end of the field, and that was that.
Here he is right here. He's just going to come around the outside. A little game between the 2 defensive linemen. The offensive line is not really good pass blockers. They don't have to block much in that offense.
This should be a situation where Schaefer can keep it away from Buchanan. Wins with him. He hangs it up high. He doesn't keep it away from him, but it's a fair catch at the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. No run back, however, but it's Miami alone on top, 24-0.
And counting. The new 210 horsepower supercharged Nissan Xterra. Still everything you need, nothing you don't.
It's new. A flame-grilled top sirloin, marinated Cajun shrimp, and a great price. $8.99. Chili surf and sirloin. We're having some fun now.
Hey, Hallie Eisenberg, drinking a Pepsi.
Actually, this isn't a Pepsi. It's new Pepsi Twist with lemon. And I'm not Hallie Eisenberg.
I'm Halle Berry. Drinking Pepsi Twist.
Well, it's not exactly Pepsi Twist. It's Diet Pepsi Twist. And I'm not exactly Halle Berry.
You know.
I'm Barry Bostwick.
Who is Barry Bostwick?
Like twists? Try new Pepsi Twist in regular and diet. A lemon twist on that great Pepsi taste.
Those must have been some cookies you left Santa.
I didn't leave them cookies. I left them cheese.
Ah, the power of cheese. It's new, a flame-grilled top sirloin, marinated Cajun shrimp, and a great price, $8.99. Chili surf and sirloin. We're having some fun now.
Defending champs Tiger Woods and David Duval team up again for the USA in the World Golf Championships EMC World Cup tomorrow on ABC.
We've talked a lot about the offensive line of Miami. There's the guy that coaches them, Art Kehoe, and he's a good one.
21 years at Miami. Player, GA, assistant coach. He's got 4 rings. 4 championship rings.
That's not bad. He's hoping for one for the thumb. Nice play fake by Dorsey. Gonna flare it out. Najee Davenport. We call his name for the first time today. We talked with some of the offensive linemen about their head coach, especially Joaquin Gonzalez, who's quite a character in his own right, and asked him about Art Kehoe.
I think Coach Kehoe is the 6th offensive lineman. That's what I think he is. He not only is a coach, but he's a great motivator, and he's one of these guys that doesn't want questions. He just wants answers. His biggest saying is, don't tell me about the pain, just show me the baby.
And we're just endeared ourselves to every mother in the world. Don't show me the pain, just show me the baby. And the baby Davenport goes out. Flags fly in late as Najee got a first down. That flag came way after the play was over.
Well, he has worked with some real good offensive linemen down through the years, and you've got 3 offensive linemen. Personal foul against the Hurricanes. 3 offensive linemen that are seniors that will be graduating this year.
Collectively, there's as good a group as I've ever seen.
Yes.
From one side to the other.
The 2 tackles get all the ink, but number 65 there, Bibla, right in the middle of those guys, seems to draw the most attention from a lot of the scouts that come around.
Sherko Razuli, one of the starters, injured.
After the play, personal foul against the offensive team. He made a first down. It'll now be first down, 10.
So personal foul when it was all over, and it's still going to be first down, but way back now at the 23-yard line.
Haji Razuli, you were talking about,
yeah.
The left guard is injured and out for the year. He'll be back. Talking with Kenny Dorsey, that said, you know, you better enjoy this year because next year you're going to lose 3 of those top offensive linemen. He says, I'm well aware of that.
Dorsey maybe changing things up. On a 1st and 10. Has plenty of time. Zips it outside. Complete to Sands. They've got another first down. And back out where the penalty occurred in the first place. Pick up a 14. You can pick your poison when you have this much time to throw.
Just single coverage, Sands and Hunter. I mentioned 4 of the 5 wide receivers for Miami were from South Florida. They're also going to be back.
Hey, there's Shockey's blocking. The lineman can't say he wasn't taking part there.
There you go. They just don't want him hanging around. It gives him a bad name.
That's right. You got to be at least 309 to hang out with those guys. This is Portis. He only got about a yard. The average weight of that offensive line across the front is 308 pounds. Gonzalez is just under 300. Bryant McKinney, we were talking earlier about the fact that he has topped out at 345 and now is down at a svelte 333. He is one of the biggest football players I've ever seen. Standing next to him yesterday, you talk about dwarfing somebody, and I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but this guy almost a foot taller than me and 150 pounds heavier. That's a big guy.
You barely came to his shoulder.
I know it.
And you're 6'4", aren't you,
Yeah,
Brad?
that's right. That's right. Here comes a blitz. Dorsey got rid of it, and Najee Davenport couldn't find the handle. Had he, we don't know how far to run.
Well, I'll show you.
That would have been a big play. Talk about the perfect hot read right here.
There you go. All these guys are going to blitz. Here's Najee right here. He's just going to slip right through here, and he's going to try and hit him. There comes a blitz. He sees it. Now the ball is right there, and he's got nobody in front of him down the middle of the field.
Oh, boy, you can see it there. There was 20 yards of green just out in front. This time, Freeney gets some nice heat from the backside. Doesn't get the sack, but he forced that throw. Still, it should have been caught. 3rd down and 9.
They brought 7, 8 guys and still couldn't get a sack on Dorsey. Smart enough to get rid of it and to call timeout.
Again, that clock wound down on him, and he had to take the time, so we'll take it with him. 8:51 remaining 3rd quarter. Still 24-0 Canes.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With the power of Pacific Life. For over 130 years, Pacific Life has improved the lives of millions with investments, annuities, and insurance. Because careful planning today can help them reach their dreams tomorrow. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
Introducing the tough new crew cab long bed. It's the next frontier.
For his first attempt, a 360 tomahawk.
Introducing new Tostitos Scoops.
Amazing. And now the alley-oop reverse.
With the bite-sized bowl-shaped design.
Oh, my. And what everyone's been waiting for, the two-handed thunder.
For the perfect dip every time.
Oh, the judges have to be impressed.
New Tostitos Scoops. The dip lover's chip. Also great with new Queso Supreme dip.
There's Bryant McKinney. You can see the size difference between the receiver and him, and a sportscaster and him. There's no comparison. This was yesterday after our little sit down.
This is how big this guy is, all right? That'll tell you. I mean, doesn't it? Doesn't this do it?
Let him block it.
Yeah, I know. That makes him that much bigger.
He is a monster. Mount McKinney.
And a nice man.
He's
nice, quiet guy.
He is. Senior out of Woodbury, New Jersey. 3rd down and 9. After the timeout, Dorsey drops and fires complete. On the run is Andre Johnson again. Johnson got a block down the sideline, all the way down to the 11. What a day number 5 is having. 51 yards.
Well, he's got big play written all over him. He's not satisfied just catching the ball. The offensive line does their job. Dorsey gets back and sees I've got time, throws it out in front of him, and now this is where the fun starts. Johnson says, get me the ball downfield and let me do something with it.
Remember the beginning of the year when you said, yeah, they lost Reggie Wayne and Santana Moss, but these guys just haven't been discovered yet?
Exactly. You don't know the names.
This is a kid that only caught 3 passes last year. You just saw his numbers for today.
They were talking about him last year. They said, we got a kid that Jim heard about that can really play, and it was Andre Johnson.
Portis got about a yard. Quentin Harris on the tackle.
It's his 4th catch of the day.
116 yards.
2 touchdowns.
And 2 big ones on 3rd down, including that last one that traveled all the way to the 11-yard line. Now they're on the 10. 2nd down. They can get a 1st down inside the 2. And Miami on the 8th play of its current drive. Just one wide receiver right now. It's Sands. The extra tight end Williams is in motion. And Dorsey off play action goes to the end zone. Touchdown, Shockey. 4th touchdown of the day for Dorsey. The 2nd for his big tight end. And for the 2nd time today, less coverage there than the Victoria's Secret models had on Thursday night on ABC.
Well, I don't know about that.
I didn't watch it, but I heard. We were busy in meetings.
Just go downfield, break a little to the outside. Fully clothed makes the catch.
Fully clothed, and the extra point's good.
Shockey just goes. This for Shockey down inside the 5-yard line. That's just man against boys.
1-800-MEDIC.
I'd be very happy to. Right, half pepperoni and half. Oh, hello. I'm here at 1-800-MEDICARE, where important questions are being answered. Hold the mail. Questions about Medicare health plans, nursing homes, and supplemental insurance. Some even ask, how does switching plans affect my coverage? Although my coverage is none of their business. So call the experts, like Raymond here. 24 days a week, 8 days an hour.
1-800-MEDICARE. Helping you help yourself.
You're gonna fall in love with the new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger at Burger King. Indulge your craving in a hot, delicious quarter pound of flame-broiled beef with melted Swiss cheese and 4 strips of crispy bacon, stacked up on 2 slices of grilled sourdough bread. It's for a limited time, so head over to Burger King today and get ready to fall in love.
I want a Nintendo GameCube with Luigi's Mansion, Wave Race Blue Storm, and Super Smash Bros. Melee, and Pikmin.
This holiday season, let Dr. Pepper play Santa by giving away thousands of incredible new Nintendo GameCubes. Look on specially marked packages for your chance to win instantly.
I know what this is.
Quit messing around. Let's go.
The Nintendo GameCube giveaway, only from Dr. Pepper.
Thanksgiving night, see Mick Jagger as you've never seen him before. Being Mick, Thanksgiving night at 10, 9 Central, only on ABC.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Here's a tight end right here, Shockey. Look at that stance compared to these offensive linemen. They'll never be one of those. Here's a route he's going to run. He's just going to get right into the end zone. Top of your screen. That's too easy. That's gravy. Nobody in the center of the field trying to cover him with an outside technique. Nice route.
Second touchdown catch of the day, the 9th of his career. We showed that career stat earlier about guys moving up, and there's a tight end moving into some pretty good territory as far as guys that have played here. Severs has got it teed up. Crowd is loving what's going on. 31-0 Miami. Jackson from the 5. Maurice is met unceremoniously by Maurice Sykes. That was a Maurice on a Maurice. And the 36-1. Our Nissan Drive summary, that one did carry 76 yards in just under 3 minutes. Miami scored on 5 of 8 possessions. 76 yards in 8 plays. Good looking drive. And Dorsey with 4 touchdown passes today. We got a long ways to go.
Yeah, Syracuse has had the ball 6 possessions. They've punted on 5 of them, and they had a fumble on the other one.
Draw play. Finding some room is Mungro, and he's not quitting by any stretch. James Mungro with a 14-yard pickup. Time to check in Times Square Stadium in New York. Here's John Saunders.
Right here on the Burger King update, Michigan and Wisconsin. Wisconsin marching. Anthony Davis, 10 yards, busts across the line for the touchdown. Makes it a 17-14 game, and Wisconsin has just recovered a fumble. Brad.
Never easy in Camp Randall.
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, I'm just thinking that.
Wisconsin try to go 5. Anderson down the middle, and he found his tight end. Good throw. Graham Manley's second catch of the day, and he got it to a first down just inside the 45-yard line.
Manley is a big guy. He hasn't caught many passes, as we mentioned, but he's a good player.
He's a good player. He's also a budding broadcaster. He and Kyle Johnson have a radio show, and Bob, I think right now he's looking to make something happen, so he's got something positive to talk about on that show.
Got that right.
They call it Captain's Rap on the station at Syracuse. First down at the 45. Here comes a blitz. Anderson in trouble, got away, and now he's going to air it long. Johnny Morant, what a catch! Oh, they're going to say he didn't catch it.
Well, Morant's got the best speed of the wide receivers, and he's a leaper, and the ball was there. The official was right on the play.
It apparently came loose out of our point of view, because here it looks like he had it. Up there it slipped.
Yep,
good call.
Sure. For sure.
Boy, what a great effort. He just couldn't hang on to it.
He's just a sophomore, and they have high hopes for this young man. That would have been a big play for him.
Second down and 10. Only about a yard for Mungro, who has 51 on the day so far. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Nissan. Nissan driven. Morgan Stanley, formerly Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money, get well connected. And Tostitos Scoops, the dip lovers chip. We've had some clouds, some swirling winds, a couple of showers, and now nightfall rolling in on Miami in the Orange Bowl. Third down and long. Anderson, quick slant. That was cut off at the pass by Mike Rump. He never let Campbell get out there. And it's punting time again for the Orange. Familiar sight over major sporting events for more than 75 years. Our aerial views courtesy of Goodyear and its fleet of blimps. Pictures from on the wings of Goodyear. Stars and Stripes with us right above about where we are. They could drop a line, we could hop on.
There you go.
Punting time for Schaefer. Buchanan had a 59-yard return earlier in the ball game. And he's got a lot of guys up. They brought a little bit of heat, but it's another great kick with the wind. Buchanan's going to get out of the way of this one and let it sail to the end zone for a touchback. 54-yard punt. And it'll be Miami now working from its own 20-yard line. So the Canes, who have scored with proficiency today in the air with Kenny Dorsey's 4 touchdown passes and 1 field goal. Really the only thing they missed today was a little bit of a weird snap and hold, and Severs missed one of the field goals.
Well, they've had the ball 8 times and scored on 5 possessions, so 4 touchdowns and a field goal.
You saw 4 touchdowns today. Only 7 had been given up by Syracuse coming in. Here's Gore, and he weaves his way. Frank Gore, if he gets to the secondary, forget it. Gore in a foot race inside the 30, all the way down the sideline. First and goal, Miami. 77 yards for the freshman.
We mentioned he's just a freshman. And he's pushing Clinton Portis. He doesn't get an opportunity to play a lot, but when he does, he makes the most of it. He starts off to his left and then bounces back because of Romberg and Bibla, the 2 offensive linemen, went to Coral Gables High School here in Miami and played here in the Orange Bowl several times during his high school career.
Win Florida since last November. He almost got to the end zone right there. And Portis back in to give Gore a breather.
This is Frank.
I know this is Frank.
Okay.
And a timeout by Miami gives us a quick second to remind you the Metrodome's the site Monday night. Talking about the Giants, they've got a couple of former Miami linebackers, Jesse Armstead and Michael Barrow. Lewis, Smith, Morgan, that's a good group. Morgan, of course, was a #1 pick this past year, and it's Vilma who's trying to fill his shoes and doing a pretty good job of it.
They've had good players come out of this program at every position, especially linebacker, defensive line. They've had a ton of good defensive linemen come out of here.
The offense is in great shape again with a 31-point lead. And they've got it inside the 3-yard line. The longest play of the year for Miami moments ago, Frank Gore. And now the Big Eaters will line up with an extra tight end on a 1st and goal. Inside handoff, Najee Davenport untouched. The senior fullback for the touchdown. Everything's working.
Well, they're spreading it around a little bit. The fullback who does all the dirty work, all the blocking and all that stuff.
Give him a little sugar.
Give him a little sugar. Give him a little love. Give him a touchdown.
This is a kid, I think, at the pro level. I mean, he could almost be a tailback here. I think he's going to be a good one.
He was a tailback here at Miami and then moved him over to fullback.
Extra point is good. Miami leads 38-0.
You're going to see over here, he's just going to follow the right guard, Bibla. Romberg is 66, gets a nice block. But when you run in from that area and you're untouched standing up, that's pretty good blocking.
Another look. Najee covers it with both hands and trots in. We were kidding around with him yesterday. They were playing the video games. He's undefeated, he says, but here's the kid that got him close. Gore, 77-yard run.
This is the 3rd string running back for Miami right here.
And that would be behind Portis and Willis McGahee, who's been a little bit banged up.
Hey boys, I'll tell you, Frank Gore has come a long way. Frank has a learning disability. Discovered it when he was a young kid in school. He doesn't read as well as the other kids he was growing up with, and they kind of held him back, and he was in special education classes. But when he got to high school, he told his mother, told his coach, said, look, I can do the work. Got into it, worked hard. When he took his tests, his SATs, he was not timed. He was allowed to have someone there with him to read him the questions, and he received the required minimum in his SATs to go on. One other story, talking to the president of the university down in Shalala, when she selected their coach, because of him being the coach, he decided to come to Miami. He was actually on his way to Mississippi.
And they are happy that he is here, that's for sure, as Jackson takes on the kick return. Flags fly in on the return. Sean Taylor made the stop. And in what Swanee was talking about with Frank Gore, Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator, Rob said, you know what, you tell Frank Gore something once, he will never forget it.
Yeah.
He said he is a quick learner.
He had a fumble last week late in the game against Boston College, which allowed the Boston College to move down the field in the game. And Rob went to him the next day and says, hey, you're my running back. So
During
I
the
don't care
return,
what happened.
Block in the back on the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal.
He said there's no way I was going to hurt his confidence by letting him think that fumble had anything to do. And there's Rob right there with the glasses in the middle of the Miami booth. Right.
There he is.
There you go. And he said, I have as much faith in you today after the game and after the fumble as I did yesterday.
Yeah.
And he showed some faith in giving him that handoff way downfield, and 77 yards later that faith is repaid.
You know, Rob is new at that position. They
used to be the tight end coach.
Well, yeah, and they've got a new offensive coordinator. They've got a new defensive coordinator. They've got a new head coach, and they're 8-0 and going to 9-0 and sending a message, I think, around the country that, hey, they're here and they are real.
And Syracuse finds itself inside their own 20, and in this case inside their own 5 for the 8th time in 11 starting drives. That field position has been killing them today. Anderson just trying to find them any kind of room and can't. Jeremy Shockey getting retaped. He says, you know, I might have to go back in and catch a 3rd touchdown pass. So they're working his ankle a little bit.
We were at practice the other day. He really works. I mean, he wants every ball thrown to him. He's running hard, and if he just catches a little slant route to the outside, he'll take it up, turn it up, and run 30-40 yards downfield. And I was impressed with the tight end that would do that.
2nd down, 11 as Anderson lost one. He's going to be in his own end zone whether he's handing off or not, and he does hand off to Kyle Johnson. And Kyle trying to struggle out to about the 4, almost the 5-yard line. Talked about Shockey and the day he's had, the nice pump fake by Dorsey, and Shockey was wide open on that first one. And then comes back and was almost as open the second time.
Same move, different sides of the field, same route. And when the tight end can do that, that tells you that he is a route runner. He is patient. He goes down, he takes his time, makes a move to the outside, gets his defensive man going that way, and then goes in the inside when the quarterback is ready to throw you the ball.
And penalties.
Prior to the snap, illegal substitution on the offensive team. Half the distance to the goal.
That half the distance is getting closer and closer to the goal line. Well, regardless of the outcome of this game, Paul Pasqualoni has done one heck of a job after an 0-2 start. Georgia Tech and Tennessee, their first 2 losses, and then ran off 8 straight when nobody expected them to do anything this year.
Beat Auburn, Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech on the road, as
in
a matter of
Blacksburg.
fact. Yep. 3rd down, 12. Straight drop. Here comes Green.
Howard, the defender, and you know, the communication between those two.
He's talking to Andre Johnson, so Andre must have been the guilty party on the block. At least he's laughing about it. You can laugh about it when it's 38-0.
Yeah. Johnson, Andre probably tell him, said, Coach, see what happens when I block? I'm good on a catch, but don't ask me to block anymore.
Just throw me the thing. Let me run with it. So that backs it out to the 43-yard line. 1st and 20. Final 2 minutes and change of the 3rd quarter. Syracuse again may have jumped. No flag this time. Finally, there is one in the backfield, and now we might have holding on Romberg. I don't know. That flag was thrown in the vicinity anyway.
Brad and Bob, as we look at Brian McKinney there, who's been playing extremely well as we brought out this evening. I think half the credit has to go to one of his teammates, Jerome McDougal, number 95 on defense, who's also having a great ball game this evening. Because after practice to get ready for his matchup against Freeney, he went extra time against McDougal because he's one of the fastest guys on the defensive team. What McDougal did was watch film of Freeney, making sure he knew all of his moves so he could give McKinney the best picture possible.
That's a lot more than a scout look, isn't it? When you got 2 guys that good helping each other out. And here's Portis, Clinton Portis, dragging tacklers with him down to the 20-yard line. 23 yards for Portis.
The competition at running back between Clinton Portis and Frank Gore.
Making them both better.
Yes, for sure. We were talking with the coaches, and it says since Frank Gore has come out of the blue really and pushed Clinton Portis, Portis is playing a lot better. The little competition is good. Never hurts anybody.
Portis keeps going like this. He might have to take the big uglies out for dinner again. Remember, he gets over 150. He treats. He's got 112 on 23 carries. Now it's Portis again. And he's down to the 15, so give him 5 or 6 more.
How much food did Ken Dorsey said that Brian ate? His mother comes down and brings about 20 pounds of food?
Yeah, and when Portis has to take those guys out, they say what each lineman does is just to start with, they each order an appetizer for 4. And that's before they get to the main course.
They each order an appetizer.
For 4, not just for all of them.
Yeah.
Each guy gets that much. Pick up a 6, 2nd down and 4. Portis again. On his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. Found a crease on the right side behind good blocking, and then he had Najee Davenport in front of him.
The blocking up front on that play was extraordinary. I'll show you in a minute.
Extra point is good. This is an awfully good football team.
Watch the center, Romberg. The center right here is going to reach and come over and block the man over here. The guard's going to go outside. Watch the center. Look at that block right there, how Romberg, 66, just jumps. You got to snap the ball and then move. You almost have to pull. Romberg and Bibla, Gonzalez all on the right side. There he is.
Nice block. Oh, a bunch of them.
You don't see offensive linemen getting that block very often.
And then when he's got his fullback in front of him, and it's almost like, Najee, get out of my way. And then Davenport got the last block at the end zone.
Wilkins.
That's pretty.
Wilkins doing a nice job. Davenport turned around and he said, hey, I'm right behind you. Keep going.
There's Romberg out of Windsor, Ontario. His teammates on the offensive line kid him about being from Detroit, not from Ontario. That's what Gonzalez says. He says, nothing's sacred in our group. You come up with the worst thing you can say about each other and the worst jokes you can come up with. These guys are constantly together off the field as well as on, and that helps make them as good as they are.
He's Canadian, eh? There's Keogh on the right. I tell you what, those guys have some talent, but Art Keogh brings it out in them, and they are the best offensive line in the country because of Art Keogh.
We told you that the Big Eaters would have a big part to play in this game, and both in pass protection and leading the way for Portis and Gore, they indeed have today. Ball comes off the tee for the second time, so they're going to come out, and Buchanan says, I'll hold it for you, Todd. You kick it. 45-0, Miami. Final minute, third quarter. Boy, is this going to open some eyes for people that thought maybe Miami wasn't that good. From the 6 is Ferry. And Diamond Ferry trying to weave his way around, and then is stood up at the 20 by Sean Taylor, his second hit in a row on special teams. Juan Gonzalez, and he talked with us about the diversity on that offensive line.
It's fun, all the things that we learn from each other, and you know, I've learned how to speak a little bit of Russian. I know a little bit of Yugoslavian because Brett's Canadian. And there's a lot of Yugoslavians, in I guess, in Windsor and things like that, all his friends, so he knows some Yugoslavian. So, you know, we just come up with, like, the funniest jokes just because we could, you know, use everybody's backgrounds and use every single language known to man and just make things up, and we just drive our coaches crazy.
They're quite a group to be around. And it doesn't matter which one you pick out. You get some laughs or something to think about from all of them. Gonzalez was a guy, for instance, that actually had offers from Ivy Leagues because of his academics. Said, no, Miami, I don't play football. And he got the recently one of the recipients of the
$18,000 National Football
Foundation scholarship.
Yeah.
So he's strong, big, funny, and smart.
4-year starter here, and one of the leaders. They'll miss him.
You bet. Second down 10. Quick throw. That might be a lateral. Maybe not, but at any rate, it goes out of bounds. Doesn't matter. Joe Donnelly, the tight end, was the intended receiver. I think that was a lateral, wasn't it?
I don't know. I couldn't tell, but one of the line judge, when the ball is thrown that way, moves back to check on it.
Here's a good look right here. Thanks, fellas. Ooh, boy.
Awfully close.
Awful close.
Yeah.
Right down the line, incomplete. And it is third down and 9. Third down and 10, actually. Maurice Jackson in motion. Anderson goes complete. Johnny Morant. And he's going to be close to a first down. Buchanan finally put him down. See where they spot this one.
I think it's going to be short.
Yep, I guess so. Syracuse walking off the field. It is almost a yard short.
Complete domination by
both sides.
The Hurricanes. Their defense has dominated. Their offense has dominated in their special teams, their kicking game. as well.
Schaefer's been a busy punter, trying to keep it away from Buchanan. Takes a Miami bounce, and it'll be down right around the 35-yard line after a 35-yard kick. End of the third quarter. And the Hurricanes, the smoke's cleared, folks. They're pretty good. 45-0. ABC Sports presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Start of the fourth quarter in Miami. And it's all Miami. 45-0 at the Orange Bowl. The Hurricanes lead Syracuse. And look at the shutout that the Miami defense has pitched today.
This was a good football team, Syracuse, coming in. They had beaten Virginia Tech on the road, Auburn at home, played Tennessee tough for 3 quarters.
Dorsey's thrown 4 touchdown passes. His day is done.
They caught him. They caught Miami at a bad time.
Yes, they did.
And they knew it.
Crudup in at quarterback now. He'll give it off to Gore. And Gore's going to work his way to the century mark today. So Miami's going to probably have 2 guys with over 100 yards rushing, a Heisman Trophy candidate with 4 touchdown passes, and a defense that hasn't given up an inch all day long.
Yeah. We tell you, it's this team could compete. This team could play for the national championship. We've seen Nebraska, and they are legitimate. I've not seen Florida, but I've seen them on tape.
Right.
This Miami team beat Florida in the Sugar Bowl of, 7-8 months ago.
Here's Crudup's first throw coming up. Maybe. Plenty of time to throw. Goes high and almost picked off. Intended for Jason Geathers, and he sailed that one a little bit. Yeah, they beat Florida 37-20 in the Nokia Sugar Bowl back in January in New Orleans.
Both teams had a lot of players coming back. Both of them. Dorsey was back. Grossman is back. Both having good years.
No interceptions for Dorsey today, so it's 19 touchdown passes, and he's closing in on 2,300 yards. He's already the record holder, by the way, in career touchdown passes, and remember, he's only a junior. And he'll be 23-1 as a starter in about 14 minutes. Penalty markers. This one, I think, is going against Miami.
If Miami,
prior to the snap, false start on the offensive team, replay third down.
If Miami does make it to the national championship game this year, as opposed to last year, it would be a little bit longer ride. Last year it would have been just up I-95 to Pro Player Stadium. Now it'll be out at the Rose Bowl, where for the first time, in 55 years, the Big Ten or the Pac-10 won't be playing in the Rose Bowl game. And I think that's good. I think when you see Miami and Oklahoma or Nebraska or Florida, I think it's great for college football.
Speaking of...
And Bob and Brad, when they win and if they fly out to California for the Rose Bowl, the seniors will be doing it in first class. And I mean that literally. They'll be riding in first class. You see, normally on the trip at the University of Miami, the trustees and other people ride in first class. But the university president, Dr. Shalala, said, you know what, we're going to put the seniors up here because this is about the players, not about the board of trustees. So the seniors will rotate, taking turns on the flights, riding in first class, all the comfort and style. But they probably won't get a meal either.
That's right. It won't quite be. It'll be long enough probably for a meal out there. Juan Gonzalez says, I wish they'd have started that whole thing a long time ago. I'm a senior. They're looking for their 5th national championship. Kenny Dorsey on the right. Will the real Ken Dorsey please sit? They got one of the police dogs here has got a Ken Dorsey jersey on. And he's got the play toy. And that's how Syracuse has been treated by Miami today in the Orange Bowl. 45-zip. The Orangemen working from their own 40. Trying to screen. Oh, boy, almost intercepted. John Square almost picked that thing off, and he might have gone for a touchdown. Let's check in. John Saunders in New York.
All right, Brad, thanks a lot on this update. Cal against Stanford. Cal had come back to within 1 point, but Chris Lewis goes to work again. Luke Powell gets this one and takes off 80 yards for the touchdown. Cal looking for their first win of the season. Stanford not cooperating at this point with an 8-point lead, about 6 to go in the third quarter.
Stanford trying to go to 7-2, and some of you will see them against Notre Dame next Saturday night on ABC, part of our great Thanksgiving feast weekend of college football. Here's a throw out in the flat. Kyle Johnson, a senior captain, run down by Jarrell Weaver. Swanee?
Well, Brad, here I am again with my hands around another football. This time it's a trophy, the National Championship Trophy.
Don't drop that
Sears
sucker.
National Championship Trophy. I could pick it up and toss it, but I won't do it. And make no mistake about it, Miami has been playing for this trophy since day one. They still feel like they should have been playing last year for the National Championship. And one of the things against them this year, they said, was their strength of schedule. You know, they're number 1, number 2 in the BCS standings. A lot of the games they played this year, they didn't have their starters in the fourth quarter like today. But today, they're dominating this football team, so they're going to move up in the standings.
And it'll only get better because if Washington wins the Apple Cup, and that game's still going on, they're going to come in here 8-2 next Saturday night. And Virginia Tech is playing, I think, right now against Virginia. If they win that game, then they're going to lay in wait in Blacksburg. And, you know, that's a night game or afternoon game on December 1st where it might be snowing. Who knows? So the work's not done, but the BCS part of it's going to increase by the competition this week, next week, and then December.
That's for sure.
And, Brad, there's one other reason why I had my hands all over this trophy is because after my hands all over this trophy, they have to clean it and polish it. And the guy's been carrying it. I just want to make sure he has a little work, you know? Oh, here we go.
Don't fumble that thing.
There you go.
You do. There we go.
Get that polish rag out there.
Yeah. The Sears folks don't want Swanee handling that anymore, just in case he fumbles. Syracuse has only run 4 plays in Miami territory. And they're at the 37-yard line right here. Anderson, late pitch to Mungro. And didn't get much. Nice job by Al Marshall to stretch it out, make the stop. And as Lynn said, a lot of the backup guys are in playing defensively now. They get a little taste of action, and that'll only make them better down the line. Oklahoma leading Texas Tech. That's an all-important game in the Big 12. And not only Oklahoma, but all of college football lost a great man, and Bob, a very, very good friend of yours.
Yeah, Billy Vessels passed away last night at his home in Coral Gables. He was just voted, I was having lunch with him the other day, and he was just voted the greatest player in ever to come out of the University of Oklahoma. And he said he was almost more proud of that. He says he was more proud of that than he was winning the Heisman Trophy.
The Heisman Trophy back in the early 50s.
Yeah, I think around 52.
I know you guys played a lot of golf. I'm sorry for you and his family and friends. We send out our prayers and thoughts and wishes.
Yeah, Susie and the family, and I know all of our college football that knew Billy will lose a dear man. He was a special guy.
Well said. We've got 12:24 left, and Miami's cruising right now, 45-0.
You know, Oklahoma had been down for so long. I used to have lunch with him all the time, and I'd kid him about how bad Oklahoma was. But last year he got even with
boy,
me.
did he ever.
He got back because of all the Oklahoma undefeated and all that other stuff. He was unbearable to have lunch with. And then, of course, Purdue came back.
That's right. So
yeah.
Neither one of you were easy to be around.
Well, that's true. I'd say.
Down to the 27-yard line for Syracuse. That's the deepest they've been in Miami territory. It comes at the 12-minute mark remaining. And just when they get to the 27, they go back to the 28. Joseph makes the stop on Mungro. At the conclusion of our game, we'll select the Chevrolet Player of the Game. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Boy, there's a lot of guys you could look at on Miami's team.
Boy, isn't there?
Wow. 2 touchdowns for the tight end, 2 for the wide receiver. Dorsey threw 4. Buchanan set the tone in the first half.
Exactly.
And then there's those big eaters, those smorgasbord bashers that I love.
This Miami defense, they don't want this team to score.
Oh, almost an interception by James Lewis. Got us left hand on it.
Bob, you're absolutely correct. A lot of people don't understand sometimes late in the ball game, just because you put the second team in there, it means you're giving up on the ball game. The defense has a shutout working. The defense has now told the backup guys, we're going to put you in, and that's your challenge for the game. Preserve the shutout.
Swanee, I don't know if you could see it or not, but James Lewis just did some push-ups after dropping that would-be interception. And Randy Shannon, the defensive coordinator, was telling us yesterday, said we set the tone in camp. When they started making mistakes and got a little lackadaisical, we made them do push-ups. Buchanan might push it all the way to the end zone. Philip Buchanan heading to the end zone. He'll take it to the barn. Touchdown, Miami. No push-ups involved. 76 yards. Well, so much for the Chevy.
Yeah.
Get that cannon loaded. They're running out of ammo.
That's his 4th interception.
There we go. Second time he's returned one for a touchdown. He had a 67-yarder against Pittsburgh. He just took that one 76 yards. 52-0. Miami.
Miami's got, that's the 6th interception, the 6th takeaway for a touchdown this year. You force Syracuse into a passing situation, you're playing Miami's game. Here's Buchanan up, bump and run on the wide receiver. Watch as the receivers cross, he switches. Now he's got the footwork to be in position for the throw. The receiver, Jackson, lost his footing. Buchanan got where the ball was coming. They work against this all the time in practice. They work against Dorsey and the receivers, how good the Miami receivers are. This is just as good these defensive backs are. They have great practices. They ate that one up.
And Buchanan's a 4.3 40 guy. Nobody was going to get him.
That's the 22nd non-offensive touchdown for Miami in 21 games.
That's pretty impressive. Here's a kick, and it goes out of bounds. Let's check in with Swanee.
Well, Brad, now they're Buchanan. I fired the cannon.
Oh, there you go.
You know, the guy standing behind it from Sigma Chi, it's senior privilege. They've been doing that ever since 1937, firing that cannon off.
I like that. The cannon for Buchanan.
Yeah, I like the Sigma Chi's too, huh?
Is that your old group?
That's my group.
Yep. Quite a player. He set the tone in the first half with a fumble recovery, a sack, and a 59-yard punt return that set up
and
the Miami offense.
He is the only one of the starting 4 defensive backs that is back next year.
Here's a draw play. Diamond Ferry. And he's got a first down run out to the 48-yard line. We talked about Philip Buchanan. He covered that pitch, fumble, then sacked Anderson, and then took it, weaved his way, and went 59 yards, and then he just went 76 the other way with an interception. That's a pretty good day. Junior out of Fort Myers.
It gets back to defense and Randy Shannon playing aggressive defensively. And what he told us the other day, he says, you've got to have corners and you've got to have defensive ends. And Buchanan and Rump and Fitzgerald and Marshall are 4 corners that can cover anybody. And they've got defensive ends that can rush the passer.
That helps them bring the safeties up in run support, and Lewis and Reed when they need to.
They've just got playmakers on that defense. Reed, who has the it's tied for the record in interceptions at the University of Miami.
We haven't even had to call his name today. Nobody's gotten back that far.
No, they haven't.
Second down 5, just under 10 minutes left in the ball game. Option and a pitch. Nice job of breaking off the tackle by Ferry. And out of bounds in front of the Miami bench with another first down at the 40. Diamond Ferry, a sophomore.
There's a look at Reed. Yep. They didn't need him this day.
Benny Blades and Reed are tied for the career interception lead. He's got 7 interceptions, on this particular season, and he is the inspirational leader, they say, in the locker room. Remember when he got hurt in the Florida State game we did, and he took his pads off, and we said, well, his day's done.
Yeah.
He went in the locker room, excruciating pain. They retaped his shoulders. At halftime, he gave a fire and brimstone speech about spilling his guts to his teammates, and they came out in the second half, and they were breathing fire.
Yes, they were.
So he is a guy that does a lot of different things for this club. Let's check in. Times Square Stadium in New York. An update with John Saunders. John?
Well, Brad, as you know, next week, Miami has to face Washington. And Washington over Washington State today. Cody Pickett 7 yards to Jeremy Stevens. And right now the Huskies up 26-7 and dead in the sights of the Hurricanes.
And they'll come into the eye of the Hurricane to a 9-0 club next week.
I'll tell you, Rick Neuheisel is a good football coach, and he has turned that program around.
They'll have them ready, but they have to make the longest flight in the world from Seattle to Miami to play football.
Don't they ever?
Oh, man.
Well, Miami had to go out there last year at the beginning of the season. It was the only game Miami lost. It was a tough situation. I remember Ken Dorsey the week before had done an outstanding job checking off and all that other stuff. Here in the Orange Bowl, he played very well.
Then he ran into Husky Stadium, kind of noisy.
And the noise, and we knew he wasn't going to do any checking off out there, and he had a bad game out there, and Miami got beat.
That was 34-29, and the Huskies also the team that ended the record winning streak of 58 games. You saw Swanee standing in front of that sign a few minutes ago, the 58-game winning streak at home that came to an end 7 years ago at the hands of Washington. Down the middle, almost intercepted again.
Push-ups.
That would have been Al Marshall.
Let's go with the push-ups.
There he goes. Good call, Coach.
There you go.
Yep. Oh, boy.
And Shannon told us yesterday he doesn't have to even remind these guys. The players have picked up on it so much that they get on each other.
Yeah, but I didn't notice any of those players doing any push-ups in the first half of the ball game.
I didn't see him dropping any balls, though, did you?
Right. Well, they didn't drop any balls, but I don't think the coach would want his starters doing push-ups in the middle of a tight ball game.
Referee just came up and said something to Marshall. You would hate to see that be an excessive celebration situation when the guys are doing what the coaches teach them. And high lazy kick. They're going to let it go. And again, it takes a Miami bounce, which all the bounces are pretty much going the Hurricanes' way today. And you look at the scoreboard, and it is all Hurricanes. 52-0.
Impala. My dad had one of these.
Really? Wow.
I just have some very nice memories from that car.
Did his have the smoke lenses in the front? Rear deck spoiler, 200 horsepower, V6 engine,
16-inch aluminum wheel.
Well, I just love that they brought the Impala back.
Whenever you call me, I'll be there. Chevy Impala LS. The feeling never fades. You're gonna love it.
This is my car.
Impala. We'll be there.
You're gonna fall in love with the new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger at Burger King. Indulge your craving in a hot, delicious quarter pound of flame broiled beef with melted Swiss cheese and 4 strips of crispy bacon, stacked up on 2 slices of grilled sourdough bread. It's for a limited time, so head over to Burger King today and get ready to fall in love.
A lightweight step stool that still holds up to 300 pounds. Get the Easy Step from Rubbermaid.
Your search for the right financial partner brings you to the Pacific Life family of companies, managing more than $300 billion in assets. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
ABC Sunday, Daddy's got some explaining to do.
I think we have them all.
She's searching for the truth in a web of lies.
I'm gonna make you pay.
A new Alias, ABC Sunday, 9/8 Central.
You have to go back now. Soon to be 19 games, September 9th, 2000. Marcus Tuiasosopo in Washington on their home turf at Husky Stadium. Rattled Kenny Dorsey a little bit, though his numbers weren't that bad. It was Washington in the end that persevered and won it 34-29. That's the last time Miami has lost, but they have won now 24 of the last 25 and 19 straight since that setback to Washington.
Hey, and don't think for a second that these players don't know everything we know and more.
That's right.
I mean, they are on that in a minute. They were looking forward to playing them earlier in the year, and they know what Washington is to them. They know the records they broke. They know the loss. They'll be ready for them like they were ready for it.
And because
Washington's a good team.
Because this is a veteran group, they're very open with us when talking about what did you guys set your goal on. A lot of people thought they should have been in the national championship game last year instead of Florida State. And there was a lot of grumbling about that, not from these guys, but from the fans, obviously. And Kenny Dorsey and all his linemen, everybody we talked to said at that point, the end of last year, we said national championship, Rose Bowl. And while they wanted to win the Big East championship, and they're about to, as Frank Gore is off to the races again, and Gore might be gone across midfield, down the sideline, all the way to the 28-yard line. Wow, everything's working. But they said to a man, we're focused on going to Pasadena, and plays like this and players like this are going to help them get there.
Well, they missed it last year, and they don't blame the pollsters. They say it was our fault. We lost the game. But we're going to come back this year and make sure we don't lose a game so there's no doubt. This kid is really special.
61 yards that time for Gore. If he doesn't watch out, he'll have to take the lineman out to eat instead of Portis. They're both over 130 on the day. Total domination by this Miami club. Crudup back to pass, short over the middle. And inside the 20 to the 18 is Williams, the tight end. Looking in on the Orange Bowl. Our overhead shots courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp, Stars and Stripes. How pretty is that, huh?
That's great.
At the controls, Captain Dick Esch from Pompano Beach. Cap, good to have you along with us. See you next week, I hope.
You know, you look for a weakness in this team, this Miami team. And the only thing I can find is the guy getting under center right now. Not Crudup himself, but the fact that they have no experience backup quarterback should something happen to Dorsey.
Here's Gore. So far, only two guys have been able to touch Dorsey all year, so that helps. And don't you know that those offensive linemen don't know that?
Oh, sure.
And that's no rap on Crudup, but they don't want Dorsey going down.
He's only coming into the game today. He had only thrown 17 passes. He had not played a lot. Crudup.
He's a redshirt freshman out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. A little over 6 minutes. Career high for Frank Gore, by the way, 149 yards rushing. I don't know if the freshman's going to come up with the dough, but if he gets a carry here and gets over 150, he might have to take those linemen out to eat. He's over 150. That'd be a nice break for Portis Wallet, wouldn't it? Let the freshman by.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I like that.
They go down to Ruby Tuesdays, and that's quite a scene, I guess. I said to McKinney, I said, what's it look like when you 5 guys walk in and you got a couple running backs with you? He said, we do tend to get some looks. And he said, most people want to take a picture with me because they can't believe how big I am.
If I owned an all-you-can-eat restaurant and I saw them walk through my door,
I'd close it.
I'd put up a for sale sign.
3rd and 7. Here's Gore again. And down to about the 12. It's Kellen Winslow in the lineup.
The son of
Kellen Winslow.
Yeah. He's a receiver, a freshman, true freshman. Wide receiver, but you don't know. He'll probably be a mix of tight end, wide receiver. He's just a freshman. He's you see his size there. He's certainly 6'5".
He can grow into it.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you, a couple years in the weight room, he'll be a fast, agile, swift tight end.
Like his daddy.
For another one like it.
Yeah, there'll be room for a tight end eventually.
There he is. He's not sure where to line up.
He's going to trot out here to the near side. On 4th down and 5. Nice play fake by Crudup. Runs right into the Syracuse defense and trying to run out of it, and he does. Still on his feet. Touchdown! What a run by Crudup. He was dead in the water in the backfield and somehow found a way. And I don't know how. That was a heck of a run.
It was a great run. He was almost tackled 4 or 5 times.
And the first guy to greet him is the starting quarterback.
The redshirt freshman. You know, this is good experience for him. You never know when he might be needed.
Extra point is good. What a run. Watch this one.
It's a little play action. You want to throw the ball downfield. There's one broke tackle. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a bunch of them.
A bunch of them. Touchdown. 59-0 Miami.
So Denver doesn't win a Super Bowl till long after Tommy's retired. And the Packers. I mean, they couldn't win one until Sterling hung them up. I don't think it's really a coincidence. It's just my thought. I don't know. I mean, you won Super Bowl.
It's not that hard.
Hey, Boomer. Sterling.
Burger's ready.
Great. I've been looking forward to this.
There you go.
NFL Countdown, Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be around.
Chevy, the cars you can depend on, the cars that last.
You never have to look too far.
Chevy, we'll be there.
Always with you.
We're about providing financial solutions for people at growing companies. That's what we do at the Principal Financial Group. These are uncertain times. Everyone's very emotional right now. We understand the best companies are those that care about keeping their best employees. And as the nation's 401k leader, we have more plans than anyone. We can help secure the financial future of your employees, which will keep you working together a long, long time. The Principal Financial Group. Call us if we can help.
I think the heavyweight battle went to the guy on the left.
Freeney had 31 sacks in his last 18 games and didn't get close today.
Not with Mount McKinney. Couldn't get around couldn't climb Mount McKinney.
Yeah, he was held a couple times. It wasn't called. And I'm sure McKinney over there on the left would be laughing and agreeing to that.
Big Mac is smiling because he had a whale of a game.
And I'll bet you at the end of the ball game, both those men will come over and meet each other at midfield and pay their respects to one another.
They've been banging heads all day long.
In a couple of weeks, you might see those two guys' names as the top offensive and top defensive linemen in college football.
You might see a Lombardi and an Outland on each of their shelves.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Friday, our Thanksgiving feast presented by Siemens. Showdown between Texas and Texas A&M at noon Eastern. Trip to the Big 12 championship will be on the line when Nebraska battles number 14 Colorado. That's at 3:30 Eastern. By the way, that last touchdown drive by Miami, we talked about how quickly they score, but we also talk about field position being in their favor in some games. Today it hasn't mattered. 5 touchdown drives of 75 yards or more.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty strong. Noon's in at quarterback in the final 4 minutes.
I'm a little surprised that it took so long for Troy Nunes to be in the ball game.
Yep.
He started the first 2 games of the year and has 17 starts for Syracuse, and he is a little bit better thrower. He's had some problems turning the ball over in the past, and with Anderson that has not been the case. But when you get behind and you got to throw to catch up, Nunes is a little bit better passer.
And he had a great game against East Carolina throwing the football this year. Here's Baker, Barry Baker on a nice run. Out close to the 35-yard line. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy. The cars you can depend on, the cars that last. We'll be there. Burger King, home of the Whopper. Prudential Financial, a rock-solid leader in financial services. Prudential Financial to help you grow and protect your wealth. And Bud Light for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. The lights of the Orange Bowl shining in on the hometown Hurricanes in a 59-0 shellacking right now of Syracuse. And Syracuse winning streak will come to an end in 3 minutes. It will stop at 8 straight. That was the 4th longest in the country. They'll drop to 8-3, 5-1 in conference play. And Miami will remain perfect at 9-0 and 6-0 and become the Big East champions. And then 2 more hurdles. The Washington Huskies next Saturday night. And then the Hokies of Virginia Tech in Blacksburg on December 1st. And Bob and Swanee and yours truly and all our gang will be in both places to see how Miami does in their quest for an undefeated regular season and a trip out west. There's what's coming up.
Our schedule. Penn State has had an off year. Everybody said it was a weak schedule. Penn State, when you play Penn State, Florida State, and Washington outside your conference, that's 3 pretty good non-conference games that you schedule.
Next year they got Tennessee and Florida.
At Tennessee and at Florida. So they're playing a pretty good schedule.
3rd down, Nunes throws complete. And on the run into Miami territory is Mo Jackson. Maurice picks up 14. Reminder, time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report. John and Terry will have all the scores and highlights from around the country. Some of those other important games. The Apple Cup had Washington in front the last time we saw it. Stanford was leading Cal in the game, and a lot of other ones. Michigan, Wisconsin, all the games from earlier today. And a look ahead to tonight. Some good games tonight. ESPN's got a couple of good games, including Maryland and NC State, for Maryland to try to win the ACC title outright and get a BCS position. And BYU, I think, is playing on ESPN2, and they're undefeated. One of 3 undefeateds along with this Miami group. Down to 1:15. So Syracuse came, they saw, and they were conquered in their quest for the Big East championship.
Tough place to play, as we've been saying all day. Miami is awful good here in the Orange Bowl.
Baker pick up a 7. I thank all the folks that helped to bring the ball game to you. Our director of production, Bob Toms. Our associate directors, Dick Ellis. Steve Fettig's our associate producer. Reggie Wade, our technical director. Games directed by Steve Bime. Produced by Kevin Smolin. Coordinating producer, college football's Bob Goodrich. And the executive producer of ABC Sports is Howard Katz. And the fans that have remained to see what is soon to be a shutout, barring a touchdown pass from Nunes, starting to come to life as they have watched Miami dominate from gun to gun. Nunes runs out of bounds with 13 seconds left.
I'm looking downfield, and nobody could shake free. Nobody was open.
That's the way it's been all day.
Yep.
Very little you can do against this Miami defense.
A lot of memories in that building right there.
I guess. Only the palm trees and you have gotten older.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Just looking down on that open end. I love that scene down there. So many field level shots of you and those palm trees behind you. I love those. 4th down and 6. Final chance for the Orange. Nunes has some time. Throws incomplete. And that's the last chance for them. Miami will have to take a knee to end this one. Paul Pasqualoni, don't take anything away from what he's done this year.
He's done a great job.
He told us it would have been a lot better if Miami would have done this than what just happened at Boston College last week instead of the struggle.
Yep.
Because it was a wake-up call, and you could tell this week being around the players that there was a refocusing going on, and they looked at that final 3-game stretch and said, okay, that's our bump in the road. We don't want to hit a pothole, and today they had easy sailing. They put it on cruise control to end the game, 59-0. 567 yards of offense for the Canes. And Dorsey, the Heisman candidate, a 4-touchdown day. Our Chevrolet players of the game, P.J. Alexander, the offensive lineman from Syracuse, and Philip Buchanan, who really set the tone with his punt returns, his defensive plays. He's our player of the game. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 donation to each university's general scholarship fund. In the name of those two fellas, there's a happy coach. Larry Coker goes into the tunnel at 9-0. And the Big East champs, they've already got one ring, but they want one with a bigger rock. That would come in Pasadena. They're heading that direction. 2 games left to a perfect regular season. Final score, Miami 59, Syracuse nothing. For Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan, I'm Brad Nessler saying so long from Miami. Stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. It's coming up right after this.